It's been amazing just to hear the new opportunities of what is going on in our game. I am super excited just to see the evolution of Honor of Kings, how we are moving forward, creating a bigger ecosystem, creating more opportunities not only for everyone at home, but for us as well. They talked about content creators. I know that both of you create content for our brand, which is amazing, and we're super glad to have you here and to share every opportunity that you have. But at the same time, for everyone who has that esports dream, these platforms are going to become a key passage for you to make that jump from home to the stage.
I mean, you got so many events coming up, right? There's KIC, there's new National Clash happening in Malaysia. There are KCS Open Series. They're basically multi-tier tournaments that everybody can join for the HOK ecosystem. This is quite insane. Not to mention that I was in one of the clips.
Yeah, we did see you. We did see you, Dave. It was actually really nice because you died.
Yeah. That's not important. Let's focus on the most important aspect, which is they have a $1 million content creator support program. And that's absolutely insane, Phil. What do you think?
Oh, I'm very excited for that. Hopefully we get a piece of that pie there. Dave just got on.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Dave just got on there for that, and he was only on there for 1 second, you know?
Kind of true. And in that 1 second, he died.
Of course.
Hey, it's important. It's important just to be on there, all right?
Take the wins when you can get them. But when Honor of Kings mentions they have something for everyone, they truly have something for everyone. The esports side, the player side, even if you don't want to do any content creation or all this, having more creators for you to watch and all that is going to be amazing for everyone involved.
And everyone who has that content creator dream as well, right? Like, not everyone is just designed just to be an esport professional and just to become an athlete. A lot of people just want to create content, and they love the game, and they want to just make their voices be heard. And this new program is going to allow them. If you don't know how to do this, you can always come and we will help you out and just give you a hand.
Absolutely. There's so many different angles you can come in to start creating content for Honor of King, ensuring great content series like tutorials, guides, gameplays, or if you're just a pro player who want to share some tips, it's all here ready for you. Not to mention all the prizes you can earn along the way. It's so good. I want to talk about something which is an anime series, though. The Conan skin for Lupin number 7, that's great.
I'm telling you, man, like, it is going to be one of those things that when you've got it, you gotta show it. So we're gonna start seeing a lot more of that Lupin number 7 over there in the gorge.
Absolutely. Honor Kings make some of the best skins, and these collabs are amazing with AAA branded names you guys know, like Detective Conan. I don't actually know the anime, I'm not too familiar, but that Marco Polo skin looks amazing.
Weak. How can you not know about Detective Conan?
I haven't watched it, but I know what it is. So I'm a little bit closer to Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us. Twisted Minds and Pause Gaming, that has already finished. Twisted Minds taking the victory, a 4-3 victory for Twisted Minds in that very eventful Game 7, right? What about if we go to what about if we just move forward a little bit and then just check a little recap of the game? Because there were 5 members of Twisted Minds. One of them stood a lot higher than the rest, and he is going to be our MVP of this competition. Is going to be CT Boy. CT Boy is going to be taking with us the Sony MVP.
Man, look at City Boy's place. The entire series, because it's 7 games, and not only just take skills, it take a lot of stamina, focus. And when you're playing the roam position, there are a lot of shot calls, a lot of macro, a lot of commanding position you have to take. It's not easy. Okay, a lot of people think roam is easy. Just the opposite. It's usually the captain position.
You know what? Like, roam is just so hard in terms of the communication, in terms of the information. When you need to be thinking about the timers, it is the roam's responsibility to be looking at those timers.
Yeah, the roam kind of dictates how the team moves around the map. We were mentioning earlier, they work for the jungle to go ahead and get ganks going. And while you could play more of a passive roamer, that is definitely not City Boy. He's the playmaker of the team, moves around the map, starts all these plays.
That's why you play like the frontline kind of roam characters, right? You have Lin Po, you have Zhang Fei. There are a lot of different characters you can engage with, tank a lot of damage, soak a lot of damage. And you can see right now, that's Zhang Fei right here with the KDA 009 not dying. He's unkillable.
Beautiful support KDA.
Beautiful, beautiful performance on our Sony MVP from Twisted Minds, CT, boy.
You know what? This is actually a triple S performance, I think, right? The new evaluation system in-game. Yeah. You haven't tried that, you have to try that, okay? Like, this is it. If you don't die as a roam, and you constantly get like a high teamfight participation, taking a lot of damage, while having little gold, because that's what, you know, support does, I guess. But you will get triple S in rank that's 3 stars in 1 game.
I am really looking forward to do that, and I would really like to do that. I know that a lot of the roamers out there would love to be able to see themselves just getting extra stars and then just getting that triple S performance. Well, right now, Twisted Minds already with 4-3 victory over Pulse Gaming, and that's going to send them to the top 4. The top 4 of our this year's KWC, one of them is going to be Twisted Minds. They win, and look at that. They're waiting for the winner of tomorrow's competition between
ITT Global và Tality មួយ AGA ស្វែន
HAL and Alpha 7, they're waiting for you. I mean, I guess Twisted Mind is waiting for you guys,
yes,
right? Either one. So Alpha 7, bring a great show. HAL, good luck.
They got a lot of time to study, being the first ones to break out of the top 8 here. Sure. And they're going to need it. They're against potentially a very strong opponent.
It doesn't matter if it's going to be AGAL or if it's going to be Alpha 7 Esports. I'm telling you, that is going to be an amazing match, and it's going to be worth of that semi-final. We're extremely happy to be able to see that. What about if we just start thinking about the big picture? Already seated in that top 4. We need to move forward to the next matches, and those matches from today, it's going to be an amazing one more time retake to what we've already seen in best of 3s.
Dave was mentioning some series went where they had 3 ultimate battles in a row. Today, one of those days that I could see 2 ultimate battles come up, and it's highly probable too, I'd say.
Yo. Before we move on to the next series, all right? We made a bet, and then I don't think we're gonna let it slide before we go to the next series. I know Isaac wanted to move to the next series, but we have a legitimate bet regarding Double Mai being picked in the ultimate battle. You know, no matter how it happened, it did happen. So Phil, what do you say about this?
It was a series of, you know, drama and a series of punishments, okay? Paul's got doled a punishment, all right? And I guess I am doled one here now too. And we bet for 20 push-ups. I'll do 20 push-ups here live.
All right. This is a life choice and regret moment right here. Okay, let's have it line up.
Here we go. I told Dave before this, I'm a bit tired. So when he saw I had a hot take, he's like, oh, I got this guy right here, you know?
Let's do it.
I know that everyone at home is just enjoying so much this, and they really want to see us doing some push-ups. So you know what, Phil? Just get down there, boy. Show us your shape.
Show the muscles. This is the time, okay? Honor King is all about community building. And this is exactly what it is, right? This is what happens. It's a life choice and regrets. So, yo, this is actually pretty good form, to be honest. I mean, how many was that? That's 1, 2,
that is 10, 10 already. 11, 12, and 13. Okay, let's go.
Yo, he's not slowing down. I mean,
the pace is amazing.
I know. If Twisted Mind had this in Game 6, we wouldn't go to Ultimate Battle.
I love that. I love that.
Wait, is that 20? Hey!
That's 20.
That's like 25, 27, you know, we're up there already, you know, all right?
It's all right, Phil, it's all right. You know what? I feel like my brother in here, he needs a little bit of water and he needs to take a little bit of a breather. What about if we do the same and we bring you the game between Nova Esports and OG Esports right after that? Let's have a little break and we'll be right back.
និយាយថា Paul SG អត់ pick hero in 3 minutes ហ្នឹងហើយចាំមិនចោលលេងត្រង់ហ្គេម6ហ្នឹង Got chain bad, yes. តាមមើលដូចខាងនោះអ្នកអត់ទាន់ហើយ I don't know man that's what they said chẳng còn chẳng tới nha chẳng còn chẳng tới mình ấy bật placement ghê năng tranh từ tầng chẳng tới
Outfit design contest is officially underway. We've always wanted to make HOK more fun for players.
Mà tranh ghê à trong khối để
becomes a way for players to express themselves. In this contest, we welcome all players to submit their ideas through original outfit designs. Create your own exclusive hero. Outstanding entries will win cash prizes and may even be implemented in-game. The submission period is from July 4th to July 25th, so don't miss out. Before submitting, please make sure to download the official template to keep your submission format correct. After completing your design, follow the steps to submit your work. Please wait patiently for the official review results. What are you waiting for? This time, be your own hero.
Activating warp jump. Destination? The brightest star. We the kings, it's an honor show. Pulse gun charged. Scope calibrated. It's a quantum party. Ignite the stars. Into the nebula. Cosmic shifts. Supernova pulse. Woo! Right in the core.
Shoka show. Shoka show. Can you wanna son one time? Hey, what the heck is that, bro? What? What was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is the KWC 2025. This is the Honor of Kings, and we're live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is going to be our second match of the day. This is going to be electrifying. I'm telling you, if it is going to be at least half of what we already saw from that first match, this is going to be something. You guys are up for a feast. If you just got online and you do not know exactly what just happened in that first half, we had Twisted Minds take a 4-3 victory over Pulse Gaming. That was a very amazing game. I remember that Twisted Minds started with a 2-0 advantage. Then it was Pulse Gaming, the ones that they took the lead, and then you went to 2-2. Then Twisted Minds took the 3-2, and then Pulse Gaming in the last second snatched the victory in Game 3 to send us to our Game 7. In that Game 7, sadly, we had Pulse Gaming just having to take a little bit of a nerve because they did not submit.
Hello?
They did not submit their picks in the previous 3 minutes, and then after that, Twisted Minds just sealed the deal with one more victory. Moving into Nova Esports against OG Esports. We can see the players already arriving.
Oh my
I know
god.
that Nova Esports and OG Esports, they're really looking forward for
Ôi mà
playing
OG
against
một món
each
cho
other.
gì ạ?
The two of them, they really
Damn.
are counting the minutes to be able to see exactly what this game is going to be. We had
Trời mà bạn một kế này. Oh, bạn một kế.
Nova Esports match.
Wow,
before.
my guy got so
And
much
that was
aura, bro.
already a Nova Esports 2-1 victory
That's
against OG
crazy.
Esports in the best of 3. Now, Nova Esports, Mutsi, Waypit, Xuan, CY, and Wendy. These are going to be the 5 men that they're going to be showing us what Nova Esports is going to do. We are always talking about Nova Esports being able to be very close to that S tier. When we were talking about the tiers, when we were talking about the ranks in this morning, we were talking about how the difference between Nova Esports and those teams like AGAL, like TT Global, it was day by day becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. When Nova Esports is really on their toes, like believe me, they can take anyone. And Nova Esports is going to be one of those teams that you are going to have to look forward to. On the other side, OG Esports,
អាប៉ែមកគេហ្នឹងនេះនេះអាប៉ែមួយនៅកណ្ដាលគេនេះកើ
Muchen.
កើនេះមិនជីគីរបស់ប្រូម៉ានីណាកើចូលមកមើលសក់គេអូចុយគេmain character
The day of the draw. If you would have been with me right over there in the studio, it would have been amazing vibes, a great environment. When they saw that they got to play against one more time against Nova Esports,
ចុយមកកើគេនេះដូចតួក្នុងរឿង anime ក្នុងរឿងចិនរឿងអីចឹងវិញ
because this was going to be an opportunity.
ចង់និយាយថាគេចាស់កវលមកចំហៀង
If you
មុខ
are
មា
a
ំ
Nova
សក់គេ
Esports
ដាក់
fan
មក
or
អែម
OG Esports fan, this is going to be the match of the day. I'm telling you, this is going to be our SNB match of the day.
ពេលអាប៉ែនោះដូចមកពីអាប៉ែនេះរកឃើញនៅណានោះអាប៉ែអាក្រហមមិននោះរកឃើញនៅណានេះ
This is our match of the day brought to us by SNB Nova Esports against OG Esports.
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ដូចរកឃើញអាប៉ែអាក្រហមនៅណានៅណីនេះ
Here we go. This is the main dish. Pulse G versus Twisted Minds. It's just the appetizer, bro. This is the main event for today. There's a reason why this is the last match for tonight. A lot of history between both of these teams, right? Team Nova versus OG. On paper, you can say it's Nova, but OG. If you're gonna look into their player walk-ins, you can feel the aura. You can feel
feel the aura, bro.
That they want to get this.
Matthew, I'm telling you,
true.
If you're telling us that this is an appetizer, wow, that was a big appetizer,
The main
man.
dish.
Yeah.
This is the main dish.
And if there's a main dish after the size of that appetizer,
Yes, sir.
gosh,
Yes, sir.
we're off to a great start for our top 8, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nova versus OG is one of the most anticipated match of the day. The skill levels, and we're talking about Nova being consistent, OG being the upsetter.
Who is this guy?
The mark just a little bit every single
ខ្ញុំ
time.
ធ្លាប់ឃើញអាប៉ែនៅណានេះ
$3 million are on
Well,
the line. I mean,
like
this do or die, okay? If you want to show us something, this is the time to show us something.
Dave, I'm telling you, the players are ready. We are ready right over here in the studio as well. We are really counting the seconds for them to start. What about if we go to the Amazon Arena and we check exactly what is going on in there?
Welcome back to the Amazon Arena for the Honor of Kings World Cup 2025. My name is Mara Aquino, here with me, Milosh. Oh my goodness, that first series, best of 7, and it went all the way to the ultimate battle. What a twist and turn. Such a twist.
A lot of twists, actually. You could even say our minds were twisted throughout that matchup. That was a big prediction.
I like what you did there.
See, it's on another level, right? Our analysts were predicting it. Casters were predicting it. This would go to Game 7, and that's exactly what we got. An ultimate battle between two tightly knitted squads, and really seems like Twisted Minds are like to take games to the distance and play with all of their fans' hearts.
They're becoming the crowd favorite. They crawled through the group stage, and now, well, they won the game to survive another day. There's so many things happening. But you know what? How about we go up to the next best of 7? If that's what happened in the first, imagine what's going to happen next. Now, up first, in our second best of 7 series, it's going to be Nova Esports. Now, this team, straight out of Malaysia, crushed Group C in their group stage and walked away undefeated in their series. No one could stop them as they entered the playoffs in the top pool. Shuan, Sai, Wendy, Muchi, and Waypit. Now, they're not just here to compete, they're here to conquer. And their energy and confidence is sky high, and they want more.
Who would not be on the stage if they were not looking for one thing, to lift this trophy at the end of this week here at KWC? Well, we're going to need 2 teams to tango with this one. Let's introduce their opponents.
bro.
Esports!
Nè, chào mừng OG bằng Ora, bro.
The OGs themselves, they were the final team to qualify to KWC out of the last call. And oh boy, did they scream loud to the phone speaker. In Group D, they 2-0 though NS Red Force and Alpha Gaming remaining flawless until today. It seems like this rematch has all the makings of exactly what we're looking for. KK, Dao Dao, Wen, An, and Mu.
KK, man, KK.
We're gonna see if it's the same outcome as the first, or will it be a totally different outcome? It's going to be Nova Esports versus OG Esports. Now, gentlemen,
please.
Head to your stations. And it's time to get this started, so we're gonna go to our experts in the panel. Panel, lead the gorge.
All right. Nova Esports against
Hey, baby.
OG Esports.
Baby na,
This is
bro.
the match that
Bro, men
everyone
baby
was
mà hai
waiting
baby ấy,
for.
bro.
Everyone at home is tuning up just for this one game. This is a best of 7. We already have some history in best of 3s, but best of 7, that's a completely different beast.
For sure, for sure. You would definitely understand why these teams are excited to face off against each other. It's like, if you're gonna do an analogy in an anime world, it's like Sasuke versus Naruto, right? It's like
What the
Goku
heck,
versus
man?
Vegeta, the main event. If you've been watching a lot of HOK ever since it came out, these guys have been there, right?
Yo, every single players here are my homies. I mean, these players are the best, all right? They're great on content. They've been really friendly. And guys, you have to come to the arena if you have the chance to, okay? So you can meet these players in person. They are fantastic. They will greet you, collaborate, work with you, take photos. They'll go buy jerseys with you as well, or maybe give you a jersey if you're here and if you're really good looking. So make sure to show up in the venue live. And I gotta say, I have my eyes on Coco and Xuan, right? This is going to be a fight for the Clash lane. And I want because both of them play really aggressive. And I want to see who's going to rotate first, who's going to gain prio in the lane. Clash lane is probably the most impactful in terms of macro rotation.
Team OG, Team Zinpong.
And today, we got the 2 best players to demonstrate that.
Yeah, for sure. Last time they met was in the group.
Go, let's go, go.
If I'm not mistaken, it was 2-1 in favor of Nova. And there's a lot of contestment. A lot of contests regarding the Clash lane. You have the Dharma pick, Guan Yu for sure. Mulan was also in the pool back then. So Keke, how do you pronounce it? Keke?
Kuka
yes. And Shuwan, for sure, this is gonna be their fight.
Great pronunciation, Manji.
Keke, yeah.
You know the vibe.
Back
actually.
then in the Philippines, we call him Keke.
Keke? I like that one. From now on, we're running with Keke. I like that. I'm telling you, that Clash lane, as Dave was just mentioning, it has been a critical area.
For sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you need to gain advantage. You gain advantage in Clash lane, and then after that, you can start rotating. You rotate quickly, and then you're creating 2v1s in different lanes.
And by the way, last series, we might not see the best Guan Yu play, but in this series, Kuku is a master of that hero, okay? If you're trying to learn how to play Guan Yu and why this character is probably the crowd's favorite in so many different regions,
of course,
this is a series that you want to watch closely and really learn from the best of the best players in the world. And I also got to pay attention to the mid lane. You got Wendy versus Wen. I mean, these two players are also the master of their lane. However, though, when I wouldn't say the weak lane of OG, he does zone out sometimes. Can he stay focused? And I'll give today's matches, I would say a title or like a theme, which is leveling up, right? Can he level up his focus and stay in the game, stay in the zone, and bring out something different that we want to see? I love Wen. I mean, this guy
today,
can take it to the next level.
It's going to be difficult, right? Like, it's not like they're playing against bots, right? They're actually playing against top-level players.
Yeah.
Being able to perform the best. It doesn't depend only on yourself. It needs to depend exactly on what opportunities your opponents are going to give you.
And what is interesting for me is that they're kind of playing against their rivals, and this is an elimination game. And if you want to be eliminated, of course, if you want to exit the tournament, you want it to be up against your best opponent, right? Because for the next stage, they're going up against, if I'm not mistaken, AG or maybe Vitality, right? So then again, for these teams, they need to bring their A game. For sure, they reviewed all of the VODs.
The winner between Nova Esports and OG Esports is going to be playing against the winner between Team Vitality and
Team Fan. Yeah, that's good, bro.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our BP is starting, and it is time to send it to the voices that they're going to animate this gorge. Kindofu, Holler, take it from here, boys.
Teams played in the Group Kings, and they meet again on day one in the playoffs in a best of seven. Loser goes home. My name is Holler, and with me is Kindofu.
What's up, everyone? It's your favorite kind of tofu, and of course, this is going to be an exciting day. We've already ran through a best of 7. In fact, the entire best of 7.
My first pick. Let's go.
Off with the game number 1, Nova Esports against OG.
Yeah, I mean, the draft is underway, but not to undermine what we just saw in that previous series, Pause Gaming, and of course, Twisted Minds going to the 7th game. I do predict that we'll probably see a 7th game in this series as well.
I agree. I mean, this is what we've been discussing behind the scenes as well. And I think, you know, with that 2-1 scoreline, I feel like that's not the true representation of power levels between the two teams. And we will start off with the first pick for Nova, who's going to be on the blue side, picking up the Dharma, a Shen specialty, as you've already seen in that initial Kings group BO3.
Yeah, they'll set up the tone quite a bit. And Chuan, prioritizing the Dharma is going to be gravy for this team. I mean, he's an absolute maestro on this hero, really setting it up. Multi-man stuns, he has so much control, plus he gets some solo kills. I mean, this is everything that you want going into this first game.
Exactly. OG Esports trying to play around with the CC immunity, picking up the D-Ranger that you want.
Lên draft thôm cho giá Nova nhóm.
The answer coming out from Nova, extremely good as well. D-Ranger can only cleanse 1 stack of CC immunity. So what more? You get the Mozi, you get the Lung as well. 3 different kinds of stuns for all the members of OG.
Yeah, and going into this one, it feels like the teams are kind of playing more of a, like, shorter series. Some of these heroes are definitely meta. It seems like they want to really have a good first game and really take the fight to them.
I think it's very important to do so, right? We had the question from Isaac earlier talking about, you know, what makes the difference between an S-tier team and an A-tier team. It really comes down to the competence and the consistency. So you want to have that confidence as well, right? And a good game number 1 puts you in that mode for sure.
Yeah, but this is, of course, a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, yes, you'll win first game, but you have so many other games that could potentially be there. You need to have that hero pool. Obviously, these two have gone back-to-back in terms of these best of 3 and best of 7 when they last met in Season 3. All of the series went to the final game.
That's right. And I think one of the things that we need to really pay attention today is the fact that can you achieve your win condition? In that previous best of 7, as you guys seen, certain decisions are so important, right? Do you go for the kill? Do you go for the turrets? Do you go for the objectives? Many decisions need to be made in a split second. So OG Esports, Nova Esports, this is the difference maker between an S-tier team and a A-tier team. How fast do you make these decisions and how well do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about pace too, right? I mean, one thing that we've kind of saw even in the Twisted Mind series earlier was that they really prioritized pay. They wanted to really take the fight to the enemy early, and that's kind of what we saw. You know, OG tried to do that in the last series they were together, but, you know, Nova was kind of up to the task. But we're going to go a different route. It looks like Nova Esports finalizing their draft with Yixing and Luna and letting CY fly high in this first game.
It's the 5 C's that you want, right? Most people want a condominium, they want cash, but for this one, it's all about control. 5 members of 5 different control on the side of Nova Esports. It's quite a difficult draft to play against, but OG Esports responds with the Donghuang. What an interesting debut, and what a day to debut it is.
Donghuang, let's go! Luna, let's go!
In the KWC thus far for the Donghuang. This is going to be an interesting. Walk me through this hero, kid.
Right, so Donghuang is actually one of my favorite roam heroes to play. He can be played in the Clash as well. His ultimate is called the Forsaken Contract, which, if connected, you will share the damage that you guys take together. So if you hit Donghuang, your teammate gets hit as well. So it's all about, you know, tankiness. And with his ultimate, it is a suppression. So you cannot stop that Forsaken Contract.
It's just a lot of control, right? I mean, this is the biggest thing. When you see the CY Luna like flying into the back line, you need some way to lock him down, give the rest of your team really a chance. Like the D-Renjie, he's going to be able to lock his stun when the stun from Donghuang happens. So it makes it very easy. It makes a lot of sense going into this one, but it really comes back to, you know, again, this Luna pick. How high flying is it going to go?
Exactly. I like the way that you pointed this out, because as you have noticed, we have progressed deeper into KWC 2025. The lines are no longer black and white. There is some gray area. Both teams are actually able to take the series. So let's start off with the first question. Muchen here playing this Donghuang. Do you really want to catch the Luna?
I mean, you want to, right? I think that's going to be one of the big targets. I mean, Muchi is definitely high on that list, but it's not going to be the easiest to lock down. So if anything, OG, they were looking to kind of have that sort of stun to kind of control these 2 heroes, which could be an absolute menace on the back line. But here we go. This is, of course, going to be the match of the day. Game 1 in a best of 7. The loser is going to be going home.
Yep, going home. That is a situation they do not want to find themselves in. So let's talk about the drop a little bit. Nova, the win conditions are pretty straightforward for them. It's really just layering all those stuns in collaboration together, right? And they have a lot of damage over time. And during that mid stages of the game, this is where Xuan and CY are going to pop off, because they're going to hit the level 4s, the level 6s, level 7s, and then OG is not going to have a very fun time.
Yeah, not going to have a good time at all. So it really comes back to them in terms of, like, OG's lineup, probably a little bit more slower paced. They're going to go slow and steady with the sieges, especially with this Agudo up front from Dao Dao. I mean, you have that potential to just be that menace, that death ball, which is going to be tough for Nova to kind of crack into.
Yes, and one of the traits of Nova's draft that you will notice here, they are a team fighting comp. They want to get those big fights. And what's the answer to someone that constantly wants to fight? You don't fight. You don't fight back. There's no need to reply. You take the turrets, which is why Dao Dao as well as Ant have taken this duo combination of Agudo and D-Renjie, because they are the ultimate turret pushers.
Yeah, actually, that's like good life advice in just general, right? Somebody wants to fight, you just kind of feng shui them a little bit, you kind of move around.
I'm going to sneak into your house.
A little too dangerous at that point, but again, look, let's talk about this one, right? Dao Dao has been rotating throughout. I mean, they're going to try to funnel him as much farm as possible, maybe potentially steal away those blue buffs from CY, because they need to be aggressive. This Luna without a blue buff, you might have a good time.
Exactly. So I think, you know, pacing-wise, CY and Dao Dao are pretty tightly matched, because Dao Dao is able to move fast. You also have that insane movement speed, mobility by CY as well. So this 4-minute Tyrant actually going to make a significant difference between the 2 teams.
Yeah, actually, we should have started with this, but which team are you giving an edge to just with draft alone?
I actually prefer the Nova draft. I think it makes a little bit more sense.
Okay, but on getting a little bit low. Muji get run down, and he's going to give up first blood, but here come the reinforcements. Waypit is there with the Peacebringer, but not able to capitalize and get a revenge kill.
Super interesting. No punishment coming out from Nova. This is not very Nova-like. And you know, Nova is a team that we have praised. In fact, on paper, Nova looks a lot better than OG, but it's OG that strike first.
Yeah, so going back to that one, I mean, Nova has always gotten the best of OG in all of the games and all the previous series. Like, it seems like they're the nemesis, right? I mean, going back to the Season 3 championship, or the Season 3 Invitational, excuse me, OG was up 3-1. They had a potential to knock out Nova, and they kind of fumbled the ball as Nova Esports won 3 games in a row.
I mean, if you have to make mistakes, because we inevitably do, I would rather you make those mistakes early, right? Yeah. So Season 3 Invitationals, it's a pretty big stage, but right now, it's an even bigger one at KWC. So isn't it the best time to show that you have learned your lesson?
Yeah, it looks like Dark Impact was going to be used in the bottom lane, most to zone it away. OG doing a good job. I mean, again, we knew that these two teams were going to be evenly matched. You're seeing that in the net worth.
Yes, and you'll see that the gameplay is a little bit more passive, a lot more safer from both teams, right? Because at this point of the competition, it really is, well, hang on, there is going to be a board laid down, forces out the flash from Muchen. This is not ideal because now that aggressiveness is not going to be apparent from OG.
Not going to be possible. I mean, the 4-minute Tyrant is about to spawn, so that's something to take note of. I think Nova have a slight edge going into this team fight, especially with Waypit just like throwing out these cannon blasts left and right.
Yes, he already has the arcane boost here, so he can have Pierce.
Yeah, Dao over the wall. He's going to be back in. And I mean, he's been spotted out. Nova Esports doing a great job of understanding that, hey, the 4-minute timer's about to happen. Let's push. And as I say that, Infinite Fastness used instantly.
So they make a trade, right? Right now, they force out the Dragon Force from Muchi, Infinite Fastness. They also force out the Flash from Muchen. So there's a little bit of a trade in terms of like battle prowess. And I feel like OG, they have a little bit more control. Nova, very smart. They recognize this. They go for the other objective instead.
Yeah, very smart here. But I mean, they're going to trade away the Tyrant because OG had all that space in the bottom lane, plus the fact that they picked up the bottom T1. So I would say the overall net worth shift has gone in OG's favor.
Yep, and very small decisions here coming in from Nova, but very smart ones. You would notice that, you know, Muchi's actually trying to take away this Crimson Gold because they wanted to stop the steal. But unfortunately, you know, OG, they recognize this. This is one trait of a professional team. They are able to read the situation at all times.
Yeah, and being able to take out both the red buffs, especially early, taking it away from CY, huge. Set sail connecting onto 2 on this one, but again, it's all about
OG
CY.
looking good, bro.
Farm in the early lane. It looks like they've got him with the lockdown. Muchen not getting away from this one, and they're going to feed CY, let him get that kill.
I think that was a worthwhile trade for the side, right? Muchen, he gives away his life, but end of the day, they secure the buffs. And unless Dao is taken down here, I don't see much of an advantage for Nova.
Yeah, not much at all, but I mean, it's still a shift. Yes, it is just a roamer at the end of the day. It was just Muchen, but I mean, you're feeding into CY. You never really see that if you're an OG. Okay, looks like they're going to go on, bind on, and they get the return kill, and CY starting to come online.
Yes, 5.5 minutes. This is probably one of the times they want to get that lead. CY opening up OG.
Yeah, CY not scared. He's diving back and forth. They're going to find Dao as well with Muchi's damage on top of that, and Nova Esports, you blink, and now they've got a lead.
Yes, you don't want to be too careless with Nova at this point, right? We have already seen the results of being careless against Nova Esports, and once again, OG put their foot off the gas, and they're punished pretty heavily at this point.
I mean, look, I think it's more of the fact that, like, OG were fighting, but Nova was like, actually, we're just going to take the driving wheel, steering wheel away from you, and we're going to take control of this game.
They went into that playbook on the side of Nova, right? Which is Nova wants to fight. So OG, I think they need to recognize the situation a little bit better.
Here's the board. Unending Sour going to be used, but the mid T1 is under siege. Taken away by CY, and it looks like Nova, again, with just another lead.
Yeah, the stage shifts coming in from Nova is so smart, right? Changing in between objectives as well as fighting. It's so important to recognize where your strengths lie.
Yeah, and CY could potentially jump in. The Cannon Blast not going to be taken away, but CY with most of the buffs, or excuse me, Muchi has them all. CY has nothing. He's going to back off and take his own.
But because of this interaction here, they're actually pulling away the defensive of OG. So OG now, they have to get a little bit of damage. Hang on.
They found Waypit. He's going to try to flash away with a Dark Impact. Going to connect, but the box is going to be used. They throw out Furball, trying to slow it down, and Waypit will fall in the end.
Good understanding, but still, it is Nova in way more control, because at this point, yes, you take the T1 at the bottom, but this is the game plan of Nova. I am thinking 3 steps ahead of you. You win that team fight, it's fine. I'll trade for the T1 on the
the top. Okay, I don't know if it's 3 steps, but it's at least a step. But now they've got the connection. They actually have CY locked down, and that was that control. Here we go, the unending sorrow back on now. Infinite vastness, he's potentially going back in. He wants to be aggressive. He will turn this, but Schwan is already going to be killed. Keka with a double, and they find On, and now Muchi on the run. He's going to be chased here. The furball comes in, gets the stop, it gets the kill onto Muchi. Shutdown going the way of Dao Dao.
That timing was so strict. Muchi actually just used his infinite vastness, but got taken the moment he could turn into a dragon, and this is a huge hurt on the side of Nova Esports.
And now OG, just like that, they've shifted the game in their favor. They're going to take the mid T1. You never really see that. I mean, you never want to see that, but here's the replay here.
Yep, CY actually, this was a decent position, but here's the problem. They actually did not commit enough stunts in synchronization to be able to force On to be in a bad position. He got out, he got so many free hits even as he gave his life. And this is where the problem was. Now Muchi, I think you want to be patient with using your skills, but you need to understand when you need to use it.
I mean, you should have gone, right? I think you have to play it safe more than anything else. I mean, the Tyrant is going to be started here. It's been scouted out by Waypit, potentially going for a Cannon Blast steal. This will be very close. Not going to happen. On picks this one up.
But is it worth the trade? They lose another T1. Look, there is no more T1s for the side of OG, and this makes the map very dark on the side of OG Esports. And Nova is a team that capitalizes on minor mistakes. So OG, have they gone too far?
I mean, they haven't gone too far as of now. CY going deep for this one. He wants to go for Keka. He actually flashes away and back to safety, but Muchi actually has the infinite vastness on back on out of this one.
Yeah, and look, one thing that really was a major game changer was the fact that Xuan was on this Dharma in that best of 3, crushed OG completely. This time, OG gave it to him, and look at how Xuan is performing. They have definitely done their homework on this Dharma.
Yeah, I mean, look, the biggest thing about OG was that they were previously grouped up, and they got caught out many a times by Xuan. His, jump-ins, his truths were on point. He was just the man of the match in that game 1. But going into this one, yes, they're trying to bait him out, but it seems like OG are actually, best of 7, maybe we give him his best heroes and let him kind of dictate the pace, because losing game 1 isn't the end of the world.
Exactly, and I think playing a game that makes you more and more fatigued, you want to make sure they burn out the best heroes at the start.
And going back to the earlier series, I mean, Ultimate Battles, when they go to a 7th game, it is very tiring. There were some uncharacteristic mistakes from the Twisted Mind side, as well as the Pause Gaming side. It didn't seem like everybody was 100%. Fatigue is definitely an issue. But here's the Dark Impact potentially going in for this one. They have the stun onto Waypit. They have the lockdown and the control. They get the damage. But it looks like Muchen's going to be traded away. They have the knock-up onto this one, and they're going to bounce him around. Juan trying to go for the truth, but not going to be enough. CY is not enough, brother. He goes down as well. 3 for 1 thus far, and Nova on the run.
Baited! OG playing that so well. The fact that they allowed CY and understood that this is exactly where it's going to come from, that save coming in. They baited out Xuan's ultimate as well. Very smart gameplay coming from OG.
Very smart, and they were actually able to focus down members of Nova, right? And they didn't actually go for Muchi because they knew that he had that infinite dragon, the infinite vastness. He can get on out and get back into the fight. If you're going to prioritize someone, you need to ensure that you kill them, and here's the replay.
Yeah, so they actually baited out the box as well. Was it really a bait? I'm not sure, but the fact that the Forsaken contract got rid of the support on the side of Nova actually was a big difference maker, because not only did they force Xuan to use his ultimate early, in which you saw they did not manage to get the slam onto the wall. That was the biggest difference, right? The Truth mantra has maximum effect only when they're all stunned up, and that requires you to slam your opponents against the wall. It did not happen, which allowed for the instant Word ultimate, which heals and damages at the same time.
Yeah, and they were able to out-sustain it, right? And just kind of outlast in that lineup, in that team fight. So, again, OG's, it's more of the draft has been paying dividends in terms of how they want to build, understanding that the potential burst from Xuan is there, but unfortunately for Xuan, not able to get that, that 2-man stun to kind of really set the tone in that fight.
So I think OG recognizes what this big win condition from Nova is, right? We need the stuns, we need them late, we need them in synchronization. So the moment Waypit was taken out, number 1, there was no Radiance, number 2, there was no continuing stuns, no think inside the box, so no AoE control, which if you're on OG, you are in love with that situation.
Yeah. And look, this lineup has so many different ways to deal with that. I mean, away pick goes for that box. You have that set sail. You have the fur ball from Dao Dao. You have opportunities and options to kind of deal with that.
So, I mean, for now, it may seem like, hey, we're talking a lot about OG having a big win condition, but the same can be said of Nova as well. There is a potential of a very big turnaround. All they need to do is to start with a perfect Wendy chessboard.
It's going to start with that one. I mean, just to initiate, just to lock down. But look at how OG are grouping up together. This is a death ball that is a very tough nut to crack. Nova Esports, if anything, they need to think about looking to split. But here's the truth, setting it up. The Unending Sorrow just instantly used to counter most of this one. But here's the board, the Dark Effect on the side, and they're trying to find for Muchen. They're trying to focus him down. They're taking liberties. He flashes away, and it looks like OG are going to disengage here.
They expended almost everything. Muchi still has his ultimate along with Wave Hit though.
Kuka flashes away as well. He's going to get back to safety. Muchen is going to recall, and now Nova Esports with a bit of an opening are going to look to focus, at least start the Overlord here.
Yeah, they want to look for the steal. It is a Shadow Overlord, so this is going to be big.
Oh, nice little pull in, searing stab, but he's been stuck in. He's been suppressed, but the truth coming in with Sean, and it looks like he's going to get the return one, looking to turn this. The Infinite Fastest over the wall. He's going to go aggressive. Kuka has been down, and they look like they're going to get on as well, and now they're turning it around. Down, just trying to stay alive, trying to go, gets Muchi on his way out.
Okay, that was a worthwhile trade if you're on the side of OG, but still, overall, Nova wins. So it's about alleviating pressure, and they're looking for some rewards, right? You want the team fight, that's great. You need to make sure it works even better. This one, it's all about the distractions here. Wendy, his positioning was very clean. He was one of the main reasons why this fight went the way it did. So number one, Xuan catches them on the wall this time, finally gets a stun. The continual lockdown, this is the synchronization I'm talking about, right? Multiple stuns make An uncomfortable. He cannot get out of that CC. And then with Wendy, the amount of sustained damage that a Yixing does is something you do not want to experience.
I mean, the biggest thing was CY going in for that one, right? Over the wall, catching out 4, and then Chuan coming in. Yes, CY had been suppressed and killed, but then Chuan was able to go in, get that flash truth, and just really knock it into 2, just setting up for the rest of Nova Esports to clean up. Again, OG needs to be careful. They need to be, positioned well when they're looking to take a team fight.
And this comes also with, the stress, right? If you're stressed, you don't think straight, and I feel like OG have been pressured, and at this point, they feel like they are out of control.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought straight because I'm always stressed, right?
True.
All right, here we go. It looks like they find Kuka. Chuan is going to go, but Muchen is going to be killed. The first wave hit looking for the next target. Gets the Cannon Blast. And Chuan with the truth, bouncing them all back. He gets on top of An. He's going to be killed. They found Kuka, and Nova Esports, without a single death to their team, are going to continue to push.
And in a swing of events, Nova now looking for the lead. Wendy, what a player. This is why a good Yixing changes the game. And this could be number 1 for the side of Nova Esports.
I mean, they're taking the mid T3. They're going to take out Wen. They're going to get the ace, and it looks like Nova Esports are going to walk down mid and take game 1.
Lesson learned, no, it is Nova giving that first response. Game number 1 goes into their hands. It is not the Xuan performance. This is a Nova Esports performance.
What a great game. Just being able to just understand the win conditions, being able to take the perfect team fights. And I mean, it was a matter of like 2 wins and towards the end where they just like controlled the game, walked down mid, and just finished it.
So are we in the clear to say that, hey, Nova is S tier? Isaac, would you agree with us later on the desk? I'm not sure just yet, but Nova, I think the way they have layered their skills, the communication here is so much cleaner than that best of 3 series in the Kings group.
Just absolutely clean. That was almost like a great game for them to really set the tone. Yes, OG had opportunities to get back in, but they were completely unfazed. They understood the win conditions and just like being able to play this game out. OG had a couple good times. The draft was a decent idea, but they were never really able to go. This is the moment where Sean didn't actually connect with that truth, and this is why OG were able to take it. They had a bit of a lead, especially in that early game.
Okay, so let me give you what the difference maker was at this point. So number 1, the main difference between those successful team fights that OG had versus the one that really worked out for Nova is the fact that Muchen dies first, right? If Muchen dies without getting too much damage onto this lineup of Nova Esports, that is a big loss for them. At the same time, as the later the game goes, I want you to put your eyes onto Wendy. Yes, CY, Xuan, perfect combination, but it's Wendy who's setting all these things up with the taking liberties, the sliding stones, a lot of damage offered by Nova Esports. So, I am curious about the answer to our question, are they tier S? Isaac, let's hear your answer.
Again, I do believe they are tier S. Like an S minus. Let's be realistic. There are levels to levels, and they're on their way. The distance is just becoming smaller and smaller, but there's still a distance in there. They will have a chance. They just need to finish the game today, and then they will have an opportunity in the future. They need to make it to top 4. Talking about tier S or not, I don't think that is a conversation for right now, but that's a conversation for tomorrow, that's for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Nova Esports against OG Esports, with Nova turning things around and being able to take that victory. Before we start, let's welcome in the proper way, Mantin.
Okay, I apologize for earlier. We went to the toilet because of the Game 7, right? Because it was such a great series. But then again, the main dish, as expected. By the way, hello to the Filipinos out there in EWC.
Masarap.
Yes, as expected, this is the global game. Team Nova versus OG. It is indeed a bloodbath. We have what? Another 20 plus kills of a game at around what? 14 minutes? These guys are like the best of the best.
Hey, they love each other, okay?
Yeah,
that's why they brawl so much.
Yeah, yeah.
They brawl in game, they brawl in real life. I mean, not in a safe way. But we gotta say though, in that game, we see like a mastery of draft, all right?
Yes.
Like both teams had outdraft each other. You saw the Dong Huang pick, one of the best. I would say not the only, because there's also Liang there. A lot of CC will counter someone like Luna, but Dong Huang is a great choice. However, the Yi Xing though, they're able to circle him in, box him in, and get him poked out. The best way to counter someone like Dong Huang is get him poked out before a team fight.
Of course, because if we understand Dong Huang can do suppression, right? Yeah. And when you're just under suppression, then the problem is that you're going to be taking your life.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Dong Huang was never expecting to just run out of that fight alive.
Yeah.
But he's expecting to take Luna with him. In the moment that Luna is not done, in the moment that Luna does not fall, that is the problem of OG. At the beginning of the fights, it was working. At the mid stages and the late game, it was not working no more.
Definitely, I do agree with the Yi Xing counter to the Dong Huang.
Yeah.
But then again, it was the last pick for OG, so they risked it. They know that it's coming. The Yi Xing mid lane is coming, but we need to get the Luna. But the problem was the Luna got his game. It was because of the poke game also that Nova has every time they play. Like look at this. The poke game from the Mozzie and together with the iWin, look at the damage dealt, 30+%. It gave the Luna the opportunity to get all of the objectives in the jungle and just snowball at around 9 minutes. He already has CY, already has the Void Staff.
I think if you kind of like just summarize their strategy, it was very simple. You come in, you poke, you chip a little bit their HP bars, and then after that, let Luna just come in to collect kills.
Yeah.
No, another thing is, they're actually somewhat using CY as a bait, right? You see him, he's actually not that impactful in this game. He doesn't do that much damage. Look at Muchi, right? Look at Wendy's damage. Together, two of them have about over 66% of damage in total. That's 33% on average, just between those two. That's the insane amount of damage that's leveraged onto Long, onto Yi Xing. And that's why I say, like, Luna, yes, you try to counter Luna, but you forget about the true carry, which is Long and Yi Xing as well.
There were multiple cores in that Nova Esports composition, right? Yeah. And OG did not have any way just to turn things around. Yeah. Sadly for them, they already lost that Agudo pick that I know that is one of those OG Esports' very favorite heroes.
Yeah, that's one of Dao Dao's main heroes, the utility type tank of jungles, the Menkeys, the Agudo. I think they played it again systematically. They went on to protect the king, lineup, to just protect the Derenji all the way, get the sustain all the way. But the problem also, right after the mid game, they got it. They had the opportunity to kind of like get the chance to turn it around.
Yes.
But their main problem, we talked about it earlier, the clash lane, Shuhan on this Dharma, always finding a way to I don't know, get them from the side, from the back, from top. I don't know. He's just everywhere.
When you start talking about laning, I think that Nova Esports had a little bit of an advantage in each one of those lanes. And then when they put it all together, that's the reason why they took the dub.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a game, even though in the early game there was a slight advantage to OG, but Nova stayed cool and they just stayed persistent, did their job, and eventually when they find the big clashes, that's when Dharma's rotation truly mattered.
I'm telling you, I found that CY in some moments of the game in between the 5 to the 8 minutes mark, jumped in a couple times and died in both times. And it just, I feel like he felt like, okay, I got the Luna, I got a little bit of an advantage, I might be able to come in and take the kill. And just his tempo was slowed down because of these decisions.
Yeah, that's why it's a team game, right? Like Shuan, for sure, definitely stepped up with the Dharma. And I'm really guessing that they're not giving the Dharma anymore. For sure, in the next game, they're going to ban it out. Maybe ban out another jungle hero. Maybe a Pei, for sure. Or maybe the Luna themselves, they're going to ban it out and will not give it to Dao Dao. And again, the Dharma onto Keke.
Yeah, Dao Dao's signature hero is actually Luna. If this guy has his hand on Luna, this is the time you pick out Liang and Wang Zhaojun, right? That's when you try to counter. But it's so hard to do that because it's so hard to bait. You don't know whether this person is going to pick it or not. And Dao Dao is such a flexible player. So, yeah, even though they lost game 1, but again, Isaac, we talk about this is a 7-game series, so we're just getting started here.
From a psychological point of view, Dave, OG comes in here just like very looking forward for Nova, right? Like Nova it's actually pretty chill. OG were the ones that really wanted to take this fight. They come in, they come strong. The first game, it doesn't go for them. Is that going to have a mind blow for them?
This is they want revenge, right? Like they want revenge. And I think the psych game right now is coming in. Like, for example, Shuhan has always got the advantage up against Keke ever since they're matching up. Maybe there's a little bit of intimidation factor here coming in to OG. Of course, they're really frustrated every time. They really they memorized Nova's arsenal already. They know their playbook, and every time they make mistakes, I do believe there's a little bit of frustration coming into each player.
No, I also gotta say there's a proficiency issue might come into play in the game 1 because you don't see Donghwan a lot. You don't practice character a lot, right? And just now, what you saw was Donghwan getting poked out before he can be effective in a lot of the team fights, and that's very, very important. If Donghwan is able to find the crucial picks before he dies or trade the crucial characters, that might be the play for OG, but that's not what happened. Well, in the early game, it was effective, but then it slowly died out as Nova come to more of a grasp. Okay, how do we counter this Donghwan pick?
That's why Donghwan is not part of the meta. Let's just be realistic. There are meta picks and there are heroes that just kind of just fall off out of that meta. And you need to understand that. You might like the Donghwan a lot and it might just have an ability that is really interesting, but if it is not in the meta, there are reasons why.
There's, I think, a high chance that they trapped out OG because the first ban was actually the Liang. And they know that OG wants to play all of these stuns. Like last time they saw the Princess Frost and the Liang combination. Because Anne as a farm lane, I always see him as this type of farm lane who is always in the back lines. It's not the flashy type of Arlie, Marco Polo type. It's like those, the Rengis, maybe a Consortiu or Lady Sun. And they tend to win these games with those types of lineups. So pretty sure Nova adjusted the first few picks for the first 2 bans that they have.
Well, very good BP for the coaches, right? For the Nova Esports coaches, this has to be like a very important BP, and then it's going to give us the result that they wanted. Nova Esports right now a 1-0 advantage on top of OG Esports. What about if we move to the casters right now? The BP is starting, Nova Esports on the blue, OG Esports on the red. Boys, take it from here.
Nova Esports struck first, going up 1-0 over OG Esports. It looked like in game 1 that Nova Esports had their number, but your thoughts on that one, Kindofu?
I think OG Esports' draft in that first game might have been something we know as a burner, right? If we talk about meta picks, was it really meta? Like you said, Sun Ce with the Donghwan, really, I don't think that's the kind of strongest lineup, but Nova did commit quite a lot. So let's talk about the game plan here for Orange, who's going to be the coach for Nova, and Andy, who's going to be the coach for OG. Now, Nova, they ban out the Dharma, they ban out the Luna, and they pick up the Allgren.
Yeah, this is definitely a meta one. But, I mean, to kind of answer yours, obviously there were some questions. But when you kind of saw the Agudo, Direnje, and the Yuhan, yes, you had the play. Like, the Yuan is like the most picked hero in the KWC. So at least in the groups, coming into this one, it was kind of showcasing that, hey, we're going strong. But then the final two picks in the Sun Tzu and Zhanghuan were not really as optimal.
Yeah, and now, Nova Esports, this might be a dire pick. It's one of the strongest synergies along with the Allgren as well. While the Arlie has been banned out by OG, they themselves have actually put themselves in this position, which is they ban out the Agudo, one of the natural counters against Allgren.
Yeah, I mean, they went for that first, and so I think that maybe they have another answer, because again, the Allgren was still in play. Nova Esports were more than willing to pick up the Allgren, because we know that CY plays an amazing one.
Wow, okay, they want to keep their options open for their roam on the side of Nova Esports. Interesting. They pick up the Chano and they pick up the
plays
in
so
there are a couple of combinations here. And look, they have once again a very piercing jungle lineup.
Nhưng mà đang nói nhưng mà ban ở nhưng mà sẽ tam đan hoặc lời mà đai tam đan
a lot more space once again for Muchi to really get the damage in. Like the Lung last game that Muchi was playing, he was practically untouched in some of the fights.
Yeah, and I'm liking the Fatigue pick as well. I think that it's definitely been on the up and up in terms of this KWC. It definitely in terms of the meta, we're seeing just how great of a clash lane hero he is, because he provides so much. I mean, not only does he have that sustain, but he's kind of tanky. He does a decent amount of damage. It's pretty much everything you want from that clash lane.
In fact, I would go as far as to say right now, Nova Esports, they've started this first half of the draft really well, because, you know, the Flowborn marksman, yes, he's great if he plays from a distinct range, but Fatih, one of those clash laners that's able to kind of close that gap really quickly, and he has 3 chances to do it.
So I'm a little bit scared, because whenever I see Flowborn, obviously it's not the tank, so I would have given up on this game. But I mean, this is, yes, you saw one victory with that, but the marksman here definitely, it seems like it hasn't had the greatest success rate thus far. I mean, it's what, 2 and 5 with a 28% win rate. It hasn't been the highest, but it's still one of those heroes that is kind of finding its footing in the KWC.
True, I mean, it's almost double of the Flowborn tank thanks to that first series today. But of course, with that being said, OG Esports, they're actually taking out all the burst mages. They want to make sure that in this mid lane, one has a good time. And I want to bring you back to what Dave was talking about. I think, yeah, he hasn't really been showing up today. And Nova Esports, like I said, it's a team. If you give them a chance, they will slap you in the face.
They're about the long term, right? They're able to find ways in. I think even going into this draft, it seems a little bit like posturing. I mean, the marksman, the Flowborn marksman is fine. Secure is definitely, we're going to see Muchen kind of fly high on this one, and just kind of out-sustain, because you need to deal with the potential healing of this Allgren and Fatigue. And the idea now.
Okay, not only that, Nova Esports, they pick up the Milady in the mid lane. A debut pick for Nova Esports, also for the entirety of KWC. So are we gonna see a awesome map control play, macro play coming out from Nova? They also have fighting prowess.
They definitely have fighting prowess. And I mean, if they're able to just kind of stand up in front, you have the Allgren there as the initial one, Fatigue is the secondary, and then you win a team fight, and then Milady is gonna just roll down towers.
Okay, Milady is one of those scary picks. When it works fabulously, but if it doesn't, it gets thrown down the drain. There is no gutter lane here.
Yeah, it's all in or nothing, right, for this one. But look, Nova Esports have kind of proven that they're able to do this and kind of make unconventional picks work. But going into this one, it's the ultimate battle. We knew that there were going to be some unconventional picks. We've been seeing a lot of best of 3s. We saw only 2 best of 5s in the KWC thus far. And going into this, it's all about the best of 7s, where we're going to see just how deep everyone's hero pool is.
I feel like it's a return answer from Nova, right, as we hit into this game. Because end of the day, is Milady a meta pick? It's a good pick. Do not be mistaken. If given the appropriate lead, Milady is a instant killing machine. Once she gets her ultimate on you, the air support, with the damage from the air support as well, and the robot minions, you are done for.
Okay, we're gonna see. It looks like game 2 is underway. We started this one. OG down a game. Do they bounce back with this draft though?
For OG?
Yeah, for OG.
This one's a bit hard for me because I find it very difficult for the side of OG unless they can take CY down in the early game. Look, Dao, yes, his main role here is a tank, and as the game goes later, he's gonna provide a lot more room for art. But
what do you mean think AG? But AG is not man.
Yeah, just being able to kind of suppress and kind of restrict what CY can get in terms of that farming. Because if they slow him down, they're going to have a great time. But Dao, it looks like he's going to be contested here. CY smiting it and walking away, essentially, in Nova Esports with a Grand Theft Auto.
This time, it is OG. They are unable to punish Nova. And Nova, this is a great start. It's not the biggest of goal leads just yet, about 600. But every lane seems to be in favor for now.
Yeah, in favor for now. But Nova Esports, more than anything else, it's like funneling that farm into CY as much as possible. And look at, they're starting to contest. This is going to be very uncomfortable for Dao. He wants to be left alone, but it looks like they're going to have the knock up CY using the Conductor of Souls. Not able to take that one. And now Kuka looking to go in for this. Nice 3-man stun. And do they get anything on this one? CY solo. He could use the path of passing, but that's not where you want to go. He's actually going to the wrong side, but he will go down. But Dao falls first, and first blood goes the way of Nova, although CY did trade in the end.
Maybe AG first place AOK again.
Still Nova in control because they took down
đã một xe nó cho nên là mệt vô.
What? Crimson buff is in the hands of Wendy.
AG đã trên hai bên này kia.
Definitely be using that to kind of help push for Kuka in a bad spot, fighting 1 versus 2. Oh, they've already taken him down. Muchen is there. He's just trying to whittle him down as much as possible, but these bots are on top of him, and Muchen has to fly high away from the base.
Và nơi rùa cho nó bên nào lên snap phong hay nơi rùa cái ball bên nào lên snap.
Can be interrupted during that skill, so he was lucky that Wave Pit did not get his second skill to lock him down in mid-flight. Now, let's talk about Nova. They have a very commanding lead. 2.5 minutes, they're about close to 1,500 gold ahead.
Yeah, this is actually huge for them. And Wen taking a lot of damage from Wave Pit, just being very cheeky at this point. But to sustain with that Mulberry power, negating most of this one. The big one right now, it's not 3 minutes in, but going into this bottom lane, let's talk about this one. It's going to be Muchi versus An. Who are you giving the edge to just in lane?
I think it's really based on how aggressive they are. At the same time, this is also aided by the rotations coming in. And if you take a look at the goal differences that are very apparent at this point, Nova in the mid lane, Wendy already has close to a 700 goal lead against the Lady Chen, so he's gonna have a lot of pain dealt to the side of OG.
Yeah, look, CY looking to contest at this point. The Ocean of Tears is gonna be on top, but CY with that steal, he smites it, and this is gonna be great. And they've also picking up Keka in the top lane as well, so they're doing some serious damage. Nova Esports being aggressive, OG on the defensive, and just want to farm in peace.
But they can't, and this is exactly what you should do, right? We have seen the previous series. One of the things that we have definitely learned in this one is, look, when you have the lead, you have to press on, you push them back. Not only do I get the goal lead, I don't allow you to farm. And this was that solo kill, I believe. Kirka against Shen, 1v1. Okay, no, it was not fair. The flash came in from Wendy as well with the ultimate, and with that stack damage, Wendy now on a killing streak.
Yeah, and just a nice little rotation, and it looks like Muchen taking some damage. Wave Pit chasing him down, but the ride the wind, and Muchen flies on out of there.
KWC AG Chan TTG.
For Nova.
OG looks lost, and Nova, I mean, they're proving that, hey, that BO3, no fluke. CY in a very commanding position, and what a timing. Look again, Azure is here.
Okay, they're going to look to contest yet again the Arrow Storm right onto CY, but they pretty much just want the buff, and they're going to move on out. They smite away yet another buff.
Pure class. Shen, he should be able to survive this, and once again, OG cannot find the punish.
Cannot find the punish. Nothing in retribution, and I mean, this is a big one for CY. Wave Pit all the way up front, finding
nơi KWC nha, bên này tới sao ta thêm chân pi thum do mà lên cho đã đó. Qua bên này cái đến nào bọn năng thế.
Rampage coming, a 2,500 goalie built in the space of 5 minutes into this game.
Của bao giờ hưởng combo hưởng style lên của năng lên là combo hero cái lên hay năng hay dân lên ở đâu có năng dân
looting and pillaging the
đây
entire
ban bên
jungle.
kia lên hàng chán này.
The top lane is looking to be in a rough spot as well, but Kuka, he's going to be dove under. He's going to be like gone on right here.
Người ta gọi là game outแต่KWC đây kìa admin mauประกวดมวยขนมไอ้ใส่เตะ
Easy peasy lemonade squeeze.
โอ KWC វាអនKing World Cup អញ្ចឹងគឺត្រូវមានទាំងអស់សំបីតែប្រទេសចិនក៏យើងត្រូវតែមាន
1,000 goal lead in advantage to Nova, and once again, unless they get a steal, this is like a consolation prize.
Yeah, Dao might have gotten that one, and it looks like the chase is on. They have the control. Muchen trying to ride the wind, but he gets shut down. He gets struck down from midair, and it looks like it's going to be a kill going their way of Nova yet again.
What did I tell you? If you give the lead to a Milady, there is no chance of a comeback because the burst damage coming in is just insane. The goal difference now, he's already 1,000 gold ahead of Wood.
Yeah, no chance at this point. And I mean, look at how aggressive they are. Nova are like, your jungle is mine. I'm going to take yet another. Dao does have that smite, so the battle might be on. The Aerostorm is going to be on point, and Dao does smite that for good measure.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a recovery coming in, but it's a 4,000 gold lead at this point. Nova definitely in the driver's seat. OG looking pretty lost, and in the gold chart, Wendy tops it all. Number 1 in the pop music chart there.
yeah, he's on top. All 4 of them. They've got the greatest hits in that regard, but Nova Esports just taking the fight to them. I mean, look, even with this push, Wendy's going to make it very difficult for them to defend this mid T1, but Nova Esports using that as just more of like a farce more than anything else as they siege and look to take this Crimson.
Yes, and you can't defend waves. There is no wave management.
There's no wave. Conductor of Souls right on top of that. The steal away with that smite, but now Dao is about half-life. CY on the run. Schwen looking for that right angle. He's going to try to go down for Muchen, but they've already taken Keka in the other side of the map. But Muchen right in the wind. He's going to get back, but he's going to be chased. Uses that Mulberry power, but he's going to be killed.
Very smart move coming in. So Schwen actually separates the entirety of OG. And once again, once you're split apart, divide and conquer. And with the goalie, you don't win this fight. They've managed to extend this goalie. It's 5,000, and we're 7 minutes into the game only.
Yeah, and Nova Esports just so smart, right? Understanding just how to take those team fights. It's like, hey, if we have a 2-on-1 somewhere and we're able to kind of attract the attention of the others elsewhere, we're going to have that numbers advantage, take out those kills, which is a huge proponent of why they're up 9-1. But here's the Dream Roam. That's a nice one, connecting onto 3, the Aerostorm right onto CY, but Dao, yes, he's taking, but he's going to get sliced down. CY gets that kill, and flank, not able to get anything else.
There is no rising at this point. OG the map is just conquered by the side of Nova. We predicted a close series, but it's not looking like right now.
Yeah, it's not at the moment. Kuka look flashing in, tries to find at least Wape it. The force field suppression is going to go in. Like 3 members. Nova making pay for being aggressive and contesting, and they also pick up Muchen as well.
In a disarray at this point. OG, every member is playing for themselves. They're looking to provide value, but it's not a team play.
Yeah, not a team play at all. And I mean, OG, if anything, they just need to stem the bleeding, deal with the waves. Not the easiest thing to do, especially since Nova Esports. They win a team fight, and with Wendy, you have that potential push.
And look at the distribution this time for Nova, right? Instead of CY taking the buffs, now they've given the buff to Wendy, given the buff to Muji. They have hit their power spikes 8.5 minutes in. There is looking like there is no ray of hope for OG.
It's just one game thus far. This is not looking like a good game for OG as well. Obviously, they're going to look to bounce back, hopefully, on this one. But right now, in this game, yes, you were saying disarray. Yes, it's looking like it. OG right now, it seems like they've been shaken up a bit.
I mean, you can't blame them. Look at CY. He's at level 12. He's at 6,000 gold. He already has 2 of the main core items. Gonna finish his third, which is that full stacked Giant's grip on that jungle item, right? So he already has physical defense. He has anti-heal in the Blazing Cape. He also has the Eye of the Phoenix, making his regeneration even higher. So he is the frontline tank. What does that give? Wendy space, Muji space. The heals are coming out from Wave Hit. There is nothing that OG can look forward to at this point.
OG don't have any answers right now. Really struggling to find their sort of footing. They don't really have the magic, the damage to kind of deal with some of the tanky ones, especially like CY that you're breaking down. But now Nova Esports putting the assault on this bottom T3, looking to go down. Yeah, you don't really have the minions, but you got Wendy.
It's a dash and a gash the T3. Nova, the big one here. T3 for the side of Nova Esports, and they are in elation. Once again, OG, there is no answer coming in.
No answers, and the way that the Nova team has been kind of poking and prodding, keeping them at arm's reach so that they can never really come in, OG are not looking to commit because they know that if they do, they will die.
Yes, and also because there's the Tyrant buff, so there is nothing to expect out of the OG squad unless Nova mess it up. And Nova is a team that rarely makes mistakes.
Rarely make mistakes. I mean, when you're, and that will lead up to like a 9 to 10K lead. I mean, this game has been all Nova Esports. It's tough for Nova to get any sort of farm.
In fact, look, they're so optimized. It's a double objective pick. Wendy gets the Shadow Overlord, and Muchi gets that Shadow Tyrant. So not only do they have macro advantage, they also have micro advantage. Take any fight you want, Nova is going to crush you.
All right, look, if you're going to take two neutrals at the same time, I think you're just being greedy at that point.
I mean, greed is good at this point, right? You have the lead, you have a 10,000 goal lead. It is set in stone now. You have an open bleeding wound on the bottom side. T3 available for the taking. Why not if you're on the side of Nova?
No, I mean, it's a great call. You have that damage too, and you're able to do it well. But the Dream Roam forward, Kaka looking for that flank, but it looks like he's been caught out. He's going to use the force field suppression just to stay alive, but CY Seer states him, and now it looks like Schwan all the way in the front line is just attracting them to go back into their base. CY over that wall, but they've got Vanguards. This siege will continue.
A second Rampage, this time in the form of CY as well. It will be a Baron base, and you know what? The Crystal is wide open. They can go for this if they want.
The top T3 is the only thing standing at this point. Yes, the Crystal is there, but with this Shadow Vanguard, it's going to be tough. Muche getting so low, he's going to get sniped out by Muchi. He gets that soaring signal, but Dow all the way up in front. He gets guillotine for his troubles, and they get wet, and they get the Crystal, and Nova Esports take game 2.
Well done. On the side of Nova Esports, there was no chance of a comeback on the side of OG Esports, and Nova looking so strong.
So strong at this point. I mean, I think going into this third game, the draft has to be on point. They got to go with their meta heroes as much as possible. They need to figure out some way to kind of, you know, get back into this series. If they lose that third game, they're going to really struggle.
Struggling is not where you want to be at this point, right, if you're an OG. Because at this point, you are down by 2 games already. No points on the board, and Nova could be well on their way to win a third game in a row, in a best of 7.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that one looked rough for an OG fan. Going into this, we thought that it was going to be that, you know, 7th game right now, and the potential is definitely there. But OG right now, the biggest thing for them is they need to kind of draft a little bit better, find something that works, because it seemed like this draft was nowhere near able to kind of deal with what Nova was throwing at them.
I think the draft is one issue, but then it's the constant questions posted by Nova, right? At every single opportunity, every 80 seconds, Nova's at your buff, and there was no response, no answers.
No answers whatsoever. And it kind of, I mean, I hate to be like, oh yeah, Flowborn, not great, but it didn't do well yet again. But let's see what the panel had to think about game 2 here.
You can see it from Wen's expression, man. Like, it's not going well for OG. Even for the OG fans, they're looking at this game and they're just thinking, what's out there is what's going on. Not only what's out there for them to take in the next game, but are they gonna be able to take the next one? That's a big question right now, because the performance is not their best, and that's just a little bit of a compliment compared to what everyone's thoughts are.
Yeah. I mean, last game, you saw Win's expression with the post-game cam. This guy looked frustrated, he looked tired, and maybe he slept on the wrong side last night, you know? He had a pillow syndrome. It's time to wake up, all right, for the next game. Yeah. But for sure, that was an interesting strategy. We see Augur and Didia for the first time in the playoff, and it was great showing from Nova's side, invading all around, and the other side, OG, I mean, they got a game plan, but it didn't go the way they wanted.
I think that they had a game plan that did not work out. Nova Esports taking the Milady pick out there, putting that non-meta hero over there in the Gorge, and being able just to take the dub. That's gotta be a very difficult thing for OG to digest.
Yeah, we saw the push strat here, right? You have the ducks from the Milady. Yeah. Those are the pushing robots. All of these units that that she spawns. Plus, you also have the wolves together. You would definitely know that Nova wants to end this. Like, they want dinner early. They want to make it to the hotel and get that dinner, that yummy steak, right? But then again, for OG, I should say they need to change the blueprint right here, right now. They're sticking to the blueprint. They've been sticking to this strategy ever since the group stages, the protect the king type of play style. What I suggest is maybe they need to fight fire with fire now, like risk it all at level 1, at level 4, burn all the flashes, burn all the spells, and just take it from there.
Let's talk Wendy. Wendy on that Milady, 33% damage dealt. Dave, what is going on with that? Explain to us how this Milady works.
I want to know how much damage Wendy did to towers, okay? Because this guy was pushing a lot of turrets the entire game, the outer, inner, high ground towers. He got them all, okay?
Even the towers.
But let's talk about Milady in general. We actually mentioned it last game. Milady is such a great tower pushing character. It's so underrated. It might be a counter to Mai Shiranui in rank.
Okay.
And also in competitive, you saw today how they're able to use it along with channel, like Menjin was mentioning, right? To push a lot of towers. And the damage that Milady was pushing out onto someone like Sakir last game. Right? Sakir was not even able to survive going forward because of constantly getting hit by the robots, constantly getting shredded. And Milady's first item was Massive Agony.
Yes.
That item was so crucial on shredding tank's health.
Let's just talk a little bit about Milady, because I want to spotlight it a little bit longer since we don't get to see that hero a lot, right? So let's spotlight that a little bit. The item build that we saw from that Milady, can someone just come in and just give us a little bit of more detail?
Yeah, I think for the side of Nova, especially the Milady, especially their mid lane, they know their win condition. They know that Team OG, they want to play the sustain game, right? They got the Sakir, they got the Byron. So immediately pop second item, you go for the Venomous Staff as well.
Exactly.
Right after the Massive Agony, which has burning damage, you go for another poison damage. We call it in the Philippines the Cobra Commando, because it's a snake. It's a snake, by the way. Anyways, plus you have the Frozen Breath as well. It freezes
down,
you, right?
Yeah.
So it burning sensation plus a freezing sensation, you will definitely get a cold.
Yeah.
You will catch a cold, right?
For sure, for sure.
The HP bars were just really like going very, very slow and very, very low as we saw Milady dealing damage in that gorge. 2-0 Nova Esports right now with the advantage on top of OG Esports. This is going in a very quick fashion compared to what we were expecting. What about if we take a little break? We're going to think a little bit more about these games and we'll be back right with you.
Eu tenho um sonho, estar onde as lendas estão.
Ini adalah jalan untuk membuktikan bahwa kami layak berada di puncak.
Gunung di hati kami, suatu hari nanti pasti kami daki. 站在世界之巅，才配称为冠军。
Nos chamam de azarões tantas vezes, sempre presentes, nunca temidos.
Con vậy ra cái vô Ino xuống đi final bỏ hay con vậy chơi. Bài từ final bỏ vô tam đâu mà.
I don't think that the problem in here is that Nova Esports is up. I think that the problem in here is that OG Esports is not performing the way that we were expecting.
Yep.
That I think that is the biggest surprise that everyone at home is having. And if I would be the coach, I'm telling you, right now, the yelling would be on.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I think, what are they yelling? Let's go plan B, right? Like that? Because for me, they need to go maybe plan C right now, because I think Nova have reservations in terms of trapping them and picking like certain heroes. Who would have thought about the Milady, right?
Yeah, but Coach Andy, I mean, Coach Andy is a yelling type, to be honest.
Yeah.
I see him interact with the players. The thing about him yelling is he has a warm type of yelling about it. Like, that gives you the way that, oh, that feels nice.
Do you remember when your parents told you that they were disappointed at you and that used to hurt a lot more than when they were mad and then just yelling at you?
Yep.
Maybe he's going to have that approach, man, because right now this 2-0 is not even a matter of the 2-0. It's just a matter of the personality. And OG is lacking that personality. What do the casters think about this? What about we hear what Kintofu and Holler have to say?
And we're into game number 3 of this best of 7. Nova Esports in surprising but dominant fashion now taking a 2-0 lead over OG Esports.
Absolutely clinical at this stage, and I do like it how Isaac was talking about the fact that it's not like Nova winning, it's like OG losing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like the OG of old.
I also want to ask Dave, what exactly is warm shouting? I have never experienced warm shouting in my life.
I want to be like, there's some middle ground in terms of like where you're not as angry, because usually when you're going into this one, but Zhang Fei is going to be picked up first.
That one's not a warm shout.
Yeah, definitely not a warm shout. Yeah, I mean, with the umbrella outburst, definitely be so loud yelling, but we're going to have to find out. We're going to talk to Dave offline about that one.
For sure. You know what? His shout is probably going to sound like game number 3. That's the one. And Nova Esports, once again, they go back to stock standard bans. So the Dharma and the Luna, this is, two of the comfort picks coming out from Dao Dao as well as Kaka. And today, their lives have been made super uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable for sure. And Dao Dao, I think, was like, hey, let me shine. Let me play my high-flying assassin style jungler in Jing, picking it up. Also, the counter to that one, also a great support just overall. It's the guy with, dare I say, a punchable face with these glasses, the Liang here.
Yes, I agree with you, but once again, Nova Esports, they have brought their cheat sheet here, all the answers that you want. I'll give you the Liang. Who's going to stop you? The Zhang Fei is going to shout at you, the Guan Yu is going to grab you by the neck, and then Musashi is going to slap you in the face. So many answers against the Liang pick for Muchen. Now, Muchen, he has had an impressive record with Liang in the games coming into this stage of the game. But with 3 different answers to one single problem, how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know. And this is where the drafting has just been brilliant from Nova Esports. It seems like they've gotten this step up over OG Esports throughout this entire series thus far. But to your point of like, hey, do I want to be yelled at? Do I want to be, like trampled on or, gone on? None of the above, please. If anything, maybe some warm yelling at the end of the day.
Maybe warm chocolate. I think I would like a hot beverage from you. Thank you. I know I'm not doing too well. But of course, with that being said, you don't get all the things that you want in life just by asking for it. You have to fight for it. And OG Esports, tournament life not exactly on the line yet, but they're so close to dropping out of this competition.
It's where you see the cliff. You know it's there, it's definitely within your sights, and you don't want to step closer to it because that would be your peril, right? The doom that would potentially happen here.
But that could also be the leap of faith, spreading your wings and taking the series back.
Okay, true. But if I'm taking that leap of faith, I'm going to make sure I have a parachute or some sort of like, pillow towards the end of that cave.
And that's Andy's job, right? he gives you the equipment and then you do your best with whatever you can. And now OG coming up with another debut pick, the Angela coming in for the side of OG Esports. A great answer. Number one, tank shredder. For those of you that don't know, Angela melts tanks like a hot knife through butter. At the same time, also anti-CC when she uses her ultimate. So she cannot be controlled until the ultimate shield that she's been given has been depleted.
Yeah, great mid lane pick here. But if you see an Angela, though, who are you looking to kind of, counter pick that, especially in the mid lane here?
Anyone with mobility, right? So, I mean, that's the answer. So there's two options you explore. Either you get rid of her shield so that people can CC her, or just straight up move to the side. Sidestep.
Okay. Which is not going to be easy, but I do think that we need to see a little bit more from Wen, especially in that mid lane. I mean, look, everyone from OG, with how things have gone in the first 2 games, everyone needs to step up. But here, last 2 picks from Nova.
Okay, Yuan and Consort. Now, this is a smart pick coming out from Nova Esports. Let me present to you the problem that OG is going to face. Once again, it's the same situation as game number 1, right? With the Donghuang. Now, as a Liang, you have suppression, you're able to get the catch. But who are you supposed to catch on the side of Nova? Everyone on the side of Nova, once again, has a disruption skill. They're able to get the CC on you. Can they actually get the full lockdown onto this Long, which is going to be piloted on the side of An? Not really. But what do you do in a 1v5 situation, especially as a Long, when you've expended your infinite vastness, which is that dragon form?
Going into this one, game 3, we know the draft, we know the players on them. Like, look, is this draft gonna be enough for OG Esports to take a game and get back in the series over Nova?
I think it's possible because, look, here's the reality of the situation. Nobody drafts to lose. Everyone wants to win. But in order to do so, you need an advantage. So this early game, once again, very prominent, very important for OG Esports. They cannot perform like they have done in the first 2 games.
All right, that's questionable there because whenever we play our ranked games, some of your draft picks are a little questionable. So when you're saying, hey, nobody wants to lose, it's a little bit confusing there.
It's like an execution error. I am okay. I'm always learning, right? With HOK, with esports, you either win or you learn, and I have done a lot of learning.
Yeah, definitely a lot of learning. I'm going to say that for sure. But what actually have you learned? Whatever. No, but okay. We're going to go into this one. It's going to be game 3. Can OG Esports strike back and get themselves in this series over and over Esports? We're going to have to find out here.
Yes, it's not about recovery at this point. OG needs to come back swinging against Nova because Nova are looking like an immense challenge for the side of OG.
I mean, they need to play a little bit faster. It seems like Nova Esports have gotten their numbers, especially in the early game. They've been very aggressive.
This first movement by Xuan, so smart. He actually takes a roundabout just to check where OG have started their first buff.
It's going to be huge,
That's
right?
good, bro.
Just try to take that away as much as possible. And again, CY looking to, it's just that vision, that, that communication where CY understands where those buffs can be, and so that he makes his own rotation down.
So this is a trickle-down effect. Now that CY has taken his own Crimson buff, he now knows the timing, roughly, of Dao Dao's Azure Golem. And I can assure you, we have seen it in Game 1 and 2, Nova are going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be there. I mean, they're going to contest as much as possible. Dao Dao has not been given any space. I mean, we always talked about the fact that, like, OG Esports, yes, they have a team of all-stars, but Dao Dao is, dare I say, the brightest star. He shines the brightest. So he's going to have a bit more focus from Nova.
Yes, and especially if Dao Dao doesn't have a good game. He's a Jing. He's meant to melt those people down on the side of Nova. If he cannot do that one singular role, okay, there's many roles, but like that main role, then Dao Dao is going to suffer in this game, and OG will start to crumble again.
Yeah, but what is Dao Dao going to do? Like, how are you going to initiate on this Nova lineup? Everybody's kind of like tanky, or they have that sustain, or they have some way to kind of mitigate that potential jump in.
សំខាន់វា random ឲ្យដល់ពេលចូលលេងវា random ដែរនឹងដល់ពេលចឹងវាមិនសំខាន់ណាមែនតែបើសិនជា blue spark អាហ្នឹងគឺគេមានភាគរយរយយកហ្មង blue spark គឺដឹងតែ guarantee បានរហូតហ្មងដល់ពេលចឹងគឺដល់ពេលចឹងគឺគេត្រូវការនេះហើយដល់ពេលចឹងវាពិបាកយក
Same thing for An on this Lung. look, you can throw flaming palms, ride the wind, downpour, whatever you want to throw. As long as CY catches that skill in that midst of the illuminating flash, it's all gone.
Yeah, it's going to be gone for sure. And I mean, OG Esports, this is kind of why I'm like, hey, there's a little bit more pressure on them to have that good early game to kind of really take the fight to Nova Esports. If they're behind it, then not everyone can freely farm and kind of get going. In this case, it seems like there's a slight edge in favor of Nova here.
Draft-wise, I definitely agree, right? Because there is going to be a lot of difficulty. Like, who are you supposed to stop? And can you stop them consistently? Because Dao is actually a hero on this Jing that is very fearful of control. And once again, I bring you back to the point. They have 5 different members of control on the side of Nova Esports.
Yeah, if they're able to get those team fights going, and this is why Dao is like, might not be the full all end all win condition for you. Yes, he will set up the initiations. Yes, he will attract a lot of the CC, but it's going to come up to On to really step up. But here's the Soaring Green Dragon on to 2 members, but they're just going to push them away. They just want the Sprite.
Yeah, OG needs to find an unfair advantage.
Oh, there's the lockdown. They have the control, but they do have enough damage. They do, and Chuan will be killed first, and Keka will cartwheel to safety.
That is what we're talking about for OG fans. You split the damage, you share the damage, and then you get the kills. This is why when on this Angela, beautiful pick, right? Tank Shredder, OG, there is some life to them. But Nova, I can assure you, they are still very comfortable in this game.
And one thing about OG's lineup is the fact that they needed that early game start, and Mu Chen will provide. Once he hit level 5, which he did on that time, I mean, he level 4, he had control, he was able to do that in that top lane to kind of lock Xuan down. That's the way you want to do it. Every single time it's off cooldown, you want to be looking for kills.
But the one thing we've ever learned about Nova, the one trait is if Nova makes one mistake, they never make it again.
It's tough. They definitely learn from their mistakes. Waypit was going potentially in. He's just scouting that out, but he gets killed for his troubles when picking up that kill.
So now it's up to Nova. So
OG have a it's not the biggest of leads, but what do they do with this lead, right? This is just a story corner in
push the map. On doing a great job providing that space, putting some chip damage onto that bottom T1, potentially going down for that. I mean, this is exactly where you want to be if you're OG in terms of the early game lead, really taking the fight to Nova.
Yes, be the aggressor and not, be the pressure, not take that pressure coming out from Nova Esports. But once again, even with a 2-kill lead, OG leads by a mere 100 gold.
I mean, it's tiny, but you'll take whatever you can, especially from what we saw from OG before. But here's the Umbrella outburst. They push back the Stampede. The infinite fast. He just barely gets out. But when not able to get out, he's just a little too static. Dao still up in front with that mirror domain. They'll push back. They find CY. They get the return. They get the nice little knock-up. But Waypit on the return. Chuan go diving on the tower. He's going to go all in. Gets the kill onto On.
Is this a bad situation for the side of Nova? I would argue no. I think it's okay. CY did his job. They got down 1. And more importantly, they got down On as well. That delays a lot of different things on this side. Take a look at the positioning of this side of Muchi here. Very safe on the backline, making sure he gets all the hits. But at the same time, CY's ultimate, the duel to the death, catching out 1. That was a very significant marker. Xuan also aiding with the rush. Razor Cavalry, very strong presence here. Not only did he delay the aggression of Dao, he pushed him almost out of his mirror domain. Because if you didn't know, Jing, when you're out the mirror domain, it's cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled. I mean, that's the best way to do it, to take him out. And Xuan just understanding that. And, like, look at the dive, right? He was going for On. He was like a homing missile. Ensure that if he's going down, he's going down with On.
Yeah. So
rank S វាមិនសំខាន់ទេសំខាន់គឺវា random បានណា
right on top Waypit leaping saviors away
rank S មិនដែរតែអាប្រកបការជួងវា random ឲ្យមកកាយ3កាយ3អានោះវាមិនតាក់ទងមួយ S ហ្នឹង
that's going to be the end of things. I think
និយាយរួមវាប្រូហេងនិយាយចាស់ហ្មងណា
Take a look at their decision making now. Now they're backing up Dao. Dao is diving. That's great. But he's not diving alone.
Yeah. But Dao is given the hero that he wants. This is his playstyle. You know, he wants to be aggressive. He wants to be making those moves. And yes, it might be a little too overly aggressive at times, but generally speaking, you got to trust Dao in the end.
So for all the newer players in HOK, you're wondering why are teams fighting? It's actually to get that map control, right? If you time your fights right, the opposing team won't be able to clear the waves, which, funnily enough, is what Nova is doing right now, right? There is a bit of pressure on the T1, and Nova looking for the umbrella burst, but the flash away, and it looks like Muchen will get to safety. Just kind of sensing things were astray, but here's the return. They find Waypit, they do the damage, and they find CY. They get the pick off, but Kuka is down. Juan with that Soaring Green Dragon under the tower. Here's the mirror domain with Dao Dao, and it looks like An looking to make a play, goes for the Flaming Palm, not able to kill Muchi. He gets it on his dragon. He's on out of there. If they get this Crimson Golem, it's a big win for the side of OG, and they do. Dao Dao steals it away like a thief in the night. And with that objective taken, with Vanguards flying down as well. OG restoring the lead now. It is a extensive one, 2,000 ahead.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy with just how things
mà sân giờ bro mới bị đổi ông xe lục muốn trôi ba đó hải hưởng spark lên trong top sen đây.
I mean, this is like you want to trade up, right? You want to slow down CY
as much as possible. Bây giờ spark kill spark cả chục năng viên miền xây cái class viên random.
But they have the control. They find CY yet again. He's had a rough time. The unending sorrow keeping Wendy alive.
Mirror play, and this one is a beauty. Now, Dao Dao, here are two traits that you will see here. Number one, OG is playing exactly how Nova played, which is your buff shows up, you're dead.
Oh, they find Waypit. He leaping saviors over the wall. Kuke was trying to do some of that damage on, but here's with this Vanguard, they're going to potentially go for this mid T1.
That will be a healthy amount of damage. They get the T1 down as well. And look at the goalie. 2,000 ahead this time. Individually, Dao Dao leading ahead of CY. And this is where you need to hit those markers and timing.
Did you not believe that Dao Dao was going to bounce back in a must-win game? This is the guy that's going to set things up. He wanted the Jing, and you could tell when they first phase picked it.
Agree. And now, for the first time in, 3 games, I feel like Wen has recovered. There's a little bit more hop at his step, and I'm not talking about the hero pick of Angela.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help them. I mean, you're seeing just like they're being a little bit more aggressive. They're being more assertive with their movement, and especially with this contest, Nova Esports now on the defensive. The Umbrella Operas completely miss on this one, but he stampedes forward, gets a nice little connection. The Blazing Brilliance right on top of this, but Juan is going to be killed. The Infinite Fastness on back. 2 members down from Nova. Muchi running for his life. They're going to find Muchi as they get the pick up. The Unending Sorrow. Wendy just trying to go in, but on with a triple kill.
This Dragon Boy is on fire, and he's not just breathing fire, he's breathing
the
earth and air as well.
What the heck, bro?
It's looking like a downfall for the side of Nova Esports.
Oh, like how long you gonna move, bro?
To recover. 10-4 in terms of the kill score, and we're about 20 seconds away from the 10-minute mark.
10-4, roger that. We're going into this one, but just what a great play there. I mean, the Umbrella Offers a little off the mark here, but they get the Stampede on point, but that Blazing Brilliance right in that alleyway. Plus, you're adding the extra damage from Dao Dao, and then on cleanup duty, literally clean up house.
So, you know, that distraction play by Kerker at the start was really what was very important, right? Because, okay, yes, Waypit did miss that unbridled outburst, but it was Kerker that pulled 3 different members on the side of Nova away from the backline. So actually, CY was on his own when he was trying to go on to win.
Yeah, look at, you see what OG had done? They know they have such a huge lead. They're going to look to take both of the objectives at the same time. Dao Dao was just taking the Tyrant very slowly, ensuring that the rest of them could catch up on that Overlord, taking both, being very greedy, and again, kind of sticking it to Nova Esports, who did that to them last game.
This is exactly what they need to do, right? Look, it doesn't matter how you start the series, you just need to fight back. We want a back and forth, and this is what OG is delivering at this point. Now, Nova, is the game over for them? Definitely not. You never count out Nova.
Never count out Nova, never count out OG. I think that's the biggest thing we've learned. Yes, Nova Esports with 2 very quick games really stuck at 2 OG Esports, and there were some questions of like, oh my, is OG like ready for this? Are they able to kind of contest? And it looks like the answer is to that, yes.
And Xuan now, as well as CY, they have those upgraded items as well. And on, but that's a lot of damage on the win.
You're right, a lot. I mean, Dao Dao's just going in, just kind of threatening more than anything else. He could potentially just burst in, but he needs to be careful. There's a decent amount of CC on the Nova side.
Yes, in fact, like I said, 5 different members, a lot of CC. But that's exactly what OG is doing.
Okay.
They're so spread out, and it's so hard, right? As Nova, yes, you have 5 different forms of crowd control, but you need to synchronize them together. And OG based on their positioning, they're not allowing that. And Keke, he's doing a good job. He's giving them information.
Yeah, it's all about that vision, right? And I mean, going into this, I mean, Dao Dao using his mobility to the extreme. He's not trying to take an extended fight, not looking to group up and kind of get caught out. His thing is that he's doing like hit and run as much as possible and making it very uncomfortable because like you might bait out some serious spells from Nova.
Exactly. And the main difference here is Nova's strength is in control, but OG's strength is in suppression. This is where Mu Chen, look, I have been impressed with his Liang, but today if they can really close the series, I think OG Mu Chen, a lot more respect for this boy this time.
Yeah, that would be huge for him. I mean, Mu Chen has been making some serious plays in the KWC thus far. He hasn't had the greatest time. I mean, yes, they're in the lead. He's been able to knock down the right one, but it looks like they're going to go for this one. The Umbrella Outburst pushing him back. Here's the Duel of Death, finding a nice little target. They find Wendy, though. He's going to be the first to fall, but they trade away with Wen. Mu Chen down for the count as well. And now CY on the run. Keke makes a beeline for him, gets the pick off, but it looks like that's going to be a 2-for-2.
And they have not been able to kill out Dao Dao. Okay, they just finished the job. But once again, this is why you don't count out Nova. They survive. OG get the T3 at the top. It is a big win for them, but it's not the end game just yet. Nova will come back.
They'll come back. I mean, it's slowly and steadily, right? But they're down about 6K. That was a great win for them. They had to trade up. That's exactly what you wanted, but here, DJ Kin, break that one down.
All right, so that big unbridled outburst coming up from Waypit was what really changed the fight. And in collaboration, teamwork makes the dream work. Xuan actually catching out the backlines as well, pushing them out. CY, unfortunately, he had to give his life, but his job was done. They opened up the door to push Arm away from the fight. And with that distraction as well, Dao Dao, he had to do a 1v1 against Xuan, and Dao Dao was very low. There was no chance.
Yeah, no chance at that point. He was trying to get away, but Xuan is just too fast on that horse, not letting him go, and he just got the better of him. Xuan, again, he's been doing a great job, like saying, hey, we're losing, but I'm going to continue to play to the bitter end with this 5-3-2.
So at this point, look, 12.7k, he's 6 slotted, and that's Dao Dao I'm talking about, right? This Jing is fully at max strength in terms of power spikes. It's really about the item swaps. But 14 minutes in, the T3 at the bottom, open for the taking, and OG, they have a good advantage.
Yeah, they're going to take the Shadow Tyrant here, and OG looking for more, trying to get the knock-up onto Waypit, who Leaping Saviors away. And with that Oak Bolt, I think they're not going to go for too much. The Razor Cavalry, they find On in a bad spot, nowhere to get On, and he's not able to get out on that Dragon, and now Nova Esports on the chase.
What was he doing there? He had no flash, he had no business being there. On might have made the biggest blunder in this game.
I mean, got caught out here, but I mean, the minions were potentially looking to end the game. If anything, it might have been just kind of like a bit of a bait in that sense of just slowing or trying to go for that cheeky win. Nova Esports are up to it. Now they're going to focus on this Overlord.
Okay, this is a difficult situation for OG. They do not have
the control. They have the nice little damage. The Blazing Brilliance, and Waypit is going to be down. He got stuck out. The Unending Sorrow on 4. They find Keke in return, but now CY just going to step out of that pit. Wendy's been killed as well. It's a 2-for-2.
Okay, so at this point, Waypit and Wendy, they did have to tank Wen. Unfortunately, it was Wendy who was standing in the front. Oh,
he's going to go Golden Chuan under the tower, though. They haven't even taken the top T1, so they need to take that. But it looks like the Overlord will be picked up for Nova Esports here.
Okay, that's some breathing space for the side of Nova, right? Because look, it's 2 bleeding wounds on the top and the bottom, and with Dao Dao, oh, what's the call?
Oh, looks like they want to go for Xuan. He's the mirror domain, but he's going to step on out of this one. But Xuan gets picked off. Dao Dao with just too much damage at this stage.
And Mu Chen, he is the hunter now. He does have his ultimate, so he's looking for that opening. Have they spotted out CY? I think. Oh,
I don't think so.
The shadows, the fog of war.
Oh, the fog of war is too much. They're looking for him, but the search party, and it looks like CY in the perfect spot, the pocket. He's not able to be seen, and CY gets out of there.
Right beside each other. I mean, it's like they had their backs facing each other. And if they had gotten a kill onto CY at this point, it would have been super problematic for Nova.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have come back from that one. If CY goes down in that situation, right, getting that pick off with that numbers advantage, and then OG would be able to continue on. I mean, they already have the lanes like pushing throughout.
Yeah, like, and he's not exactly the rich guy you're looking for. He's 9,500. He is not 6 slotted. Yes, he does have the blood rage, but against suppression, what does that do?
Yeah, not really too much at this point, right? But he does need to stay. He just needs a little bit more time, and this is why Nova Esports. Yes, you have the mid T3. You don't have a lot of opportunities to make any more mistakes from this point on. But Nova Esports, again, just looking for a single pickoff to kind of start this comeback.
Which is why Waypit as well as Xuan have very important roles here, right? CY is trying to find that opening as well. Right now, I think he can dive from the window.
They're going to go. The Umbrella Outburst, the pushback. Juan finds Dao Dao. He's not going to look to dive for that tower. But Kaka in a bad spot, looking to get serious on this one. But he might have been caught out. Tries to go all in for Muji, and Muji outdashes him. Just too much at this point. The Infinite Fast is on back. Wen with the Blazing Brilliance right on top. But he's going to go golden. Just stay alive at least a little bit longer. But Nova Esports have gotten that pick off, and they have a power play.
How is Nova doing this? They are behind, but they are putting pressure onto OG. And once again, the TP back, they know that they just have to manage these waves coming in at the bottom. And once again, they are maintaining the defense through offense, right? Their buffs are left untouched. OG now has to deal with the Shadow Overlord, and the map is still, after a while, in favor of OG, but it's the pressure that's coming from Nova that is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. The S3 and MKL champions. There's a reason why this team are the champions, because they're so resilient. They're able to find ways to come back into games and to just pull them out from under you.
It rarely feels like Nova is at a disadvantage.
That's true. The Umbrella Outburst is going to be on, but Dao Dao gets that steal. His Sage's Sanctuary, he might be going out for this one. It looks like he will be killed, but he trades his life away for that Shadow Tyrant.
I'm not sure if that was worth it, but I think OG makes a very conscious decision not to stick with him, right? Do not bring Death's Door to us. Wave it!
Yeah, he's going to get back to safety, and yeah, you're right in the sense that, like, nobody else wanted to die with Dao Dao. It was a suicide mission. He was successful, but now they find Juan in a... Oh, sorry, they're going to do a little bit of damage. And Keka trades his life away, finds Wendy, but now Muchi's a little bit low, and it looks like he wants to go. He's going to go immune, at least for now, but he gets the pick off, and it looks like OG finding opportunities, but they're on the run.
While they're running, the minions are doing the work. The T3 in the middle being taken down as we speak. Now, Nova, they have tried their best. They will be able to defend the T3 in the middle. But OG, once again, playing to their strengths this time.
Playing to their strengths, but Nova actually coming out a little bit on top. But with these lanes that are pushing, it's going to be tough for Nova Esports to really make that true contest. Now, Dao Dao looking to cut off the angle of retreat. He's going to wait in the brush, and he's just going to chill for now.
Yeah, OG, they have a little bit of difficulty here for the next 15 seconds, but it's the Azure Golem that is more important for them, right? Right now, it's about, hey, can we delay this growth on the side of Nova? They cannot be allowed to take this Shadow Overlord, because the next big objective, final showdown, Tempest Dragon.
Tempest Dragon definitely within that. Definitely, we're going to probably see one. I mean, it's about 45 seconds away. I don't think either of these teams will really take any sort of fight before that happens, but it looks like they're going to bomb rush the Shadow Overlord here.
With the Primal Bond down, right, out of cooldown, it is going to be OG taking it with relative ease. Now, the question is, with this advantage, how much more do they push Nova?
Yeah, they need to do, I mean, take the blue buff. That's going to be a great start for them on actually taking that away from Dao Dao at that point. But the Tempest Dragon about to spawn in about 15 or so seconds. OG, if anything, they need to kind of push some pressure down. That Vanguard is still there in the bottom lane.
Exactly, and it's 80 seconds of Primal Bond for them, right? They cannot allow Nova to take it. Nova has an advantage to take the Tempest Dragon if OG makes a mistake.
Yeah, but nobody's actually rotating. CY was potentially going for that recall. The Vanguard is still there in the bottom lane, but OG using that space to potentially go. Here's the dual death, finding Muchen. He's going to go golden, at least for now. The Blazing Brilliance is pushing them back. Dao Dao not able to really find the target. They go on to Waypit, who's taking most of this. Nice little stampede on to 4. The Infinite Fastness on back, and Keck has been picked off. Muchen's going to be next on that list. They found Dao Dao as well, and 3 members down from OG, and Nova Esports looking to dive deep into the mid T3 here.
One blunder, the save comes in from Xuan to save the base as well. Nova, this is a time, and look, there's 3 members down, An and 1, can they actually do it?
There are no minions at this point, and here's Sage's Sanctuary onto An. They've already gotten Wen, and Nova Esports, they get the ace, and Nova Esports looking to close this game and this series. You thought they were out? Nova Esports are like, not just yet.
10 seconds, and the base will be wrecked at this point. OG, they cannot do it. It's Nova. They take game number 3, and we are at match point.
Never count out the champions, right? I think that's the biggest thing that we've learned, is that even when OG, everything was going right, everything in terms of heroes, playstyle, execution, early game, but Nova Esports finding ways. It's those tiny little gaps, and they're able to always bounce back.
And this was the hardest game out of the series. for the first 3 games, right? Look, OG was looking pretty strong. It felt like they had some life in their step as well, but it was consistently broken down. And look, there wasn't too many mistakes made by OG in this game. It's something you can count with your 10 fingers.
Yeah, look, I mean, going into this series, I did not have Nova Esports 4-0, OG, right? I always thought that they were able to kind of counter, but OG, even in this game where they had so many advantages, they had this huge early game lead, up about 4K at the 9-minute mark. Everything looked great for OG, and you were thinking, how does Nova come back?
Yep, look, they were frustrated. Muji was frustrated, CY was frustrated, but still, they rallied their teammates and, they recovered. And once again, never make the mistake of counting out Nova. Nova, when they hit the strides, it's so painful to play against. And, one of the rare times that you actually see Kirker under stress at this point. This ultimate by Waypit saved the game. And this one was something out of the extraordinary, a comeback. But that's from us. I want to see what the desk thinks. Isaac, take it away.
I am really looking forward to see what's going to happen in the next game, because this third one, I had it for OG. I was 99% sure that OG was going to have it, and Nova showing us that you should never count them out with that 1%, just making the decision just to turn it around. One little mistake, and that was it. OG's Esports, that comeback has turned into a 3-0 advantage for Nova.
Oh my God, what a series. 8,000 gold advantage. All gone in one team fight. I mean, I wouldn't say one team fight, but one and then another one. It starts shrinking little by little, and then one team fight is over. I have one word for this game. Yep. It's called, one phrase, calm down. Okay?
Calm down?
Yes, you look at OG, they're on the edge, man. The nerve is on the edge. You can feel it. Like, we are so far away from the stadium, but you can feel, like, they're so nervous on the stage. You can look at the players' expression, facial expressions. Yeah. I want to see their heart rate right now. I bet their heart rate is beating like they're running on a treadmill.
I noticed that also. It's so easy to say that you need to reset, but with a big stage like this, it's like super difficult to do. I have one phrase to say also. The MKL champions are like this. It's Nova. It's Nova. They're like Vince Carter, bro. Like, it's Nova. Look at that. They changed the blueprint.
Yeah.
That's commendable for the side of OG. Like, of course. They changed their strategy. Finally, they went on full damage, burst damage on the Angela, stun on the Liang.
Yeah.
But when we saw the Consortio, we were like, oh, another trap was set.
I think that's the issue, right? Like, they used a very interesting composition. They used the Liang plus the Angela. So you have suppression plus burst damage. As long as they can find one of the members from the other team, that's going to be done, right? Like, we thought that we would just by taking away the Princess Frost, then it was going to be problem solved. But then they just brought in the Angela, and that was the other option for that combo.
I want to mention, we're watching this highlight right here. This is one example why I said for OG, they have to calm down and reset. Because this is unorthodox for a team that trained with Team Wolves in the KPL region, right? I mean, if you watch the KPL region, the teams play together. They fight as a unit. Whereas you watch OG today, there are multiple different battlefield every single team fight. They're not fighting the same target. They're a little bit separated every step along the way, and that's why for Team Nova they're able to find the opportunity, find the opening to come back.
That was very evident at the 14th minute, I think it was, over there on the Crimson Golem area, and stepping in too deep, and then just being solo taken, and then everyone in here is like, what just happened? There was not even like a moment for a fight. It was just like him just wandering around and just being caught by Nova Esports.
Yeah, it's kind of like their curse, right? They're always like this. So we're talking about OG. We don't want to use the term choke, right? But they're always like this. Last time we saw them against Twisted Minds on their region, I think that was the West finals, right? They also lost that fight back in S3. They lost the 3-1. They went Golden State Warriors up against Cleveland Cavaliers. The same story. But man, Anne, on that specific situation, I want to also talk about Shuhan stepping up again, another level. Shuhan 2 times in a row The first flank was with the outburst. I think that was around 12 minutes. And then for another minute, he managed to pick off Anne, who was alone.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so vital in this game.
Those are the little openings, right? Like they find those little openings and then they just push it through. The Angela pick, I like it a lot. I'm telling you, a lot of people thought that Princess Frost was out, so the Liang combo was not going to happen. That Angela right over there, a great option because that still keeps open the Princess Frost option for OG.
You know what? I want to actually take it further with Angela pick because there's also Scepter that was picking his first item compared to previous series when we have Milady, another unorthodox pick, unusual pick, where you have Massive Agony as first item.
Yes.
The difference is when you play a burst mage like Angela, you want to have one-shot burst, one-shot damage. And that's what Angela offers. Scepter just boosts that effect to another level. So when you're playing at home, try to copy this build, you know, and have a great game.
That first item gotta be the Scepter of Reverberation, right? And if you're actually looking for different other mages like Milady, then that item is gonna be Mask of Agony, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because the plan was whoever is in front, just burst down. Angela ultimate, you have the Jing Mirror Dimension. Also, you can definitely spend all of those. But the only thing that Nova needs to do is to survive the burst. If they manage to like get a little bit of HP, they can definitely do the comeback.
But the thing about this is that it was working for OG Esports, right? Like the whole game, it was working all the way until minute 19. They were in control. They had the Vanguards coming in, taking on the Crystal. In that last fight, Guan Yu was not even close to it because he was back in the high ground cleaning wave. And then they take in this fight, they lose it, they're just completely vanished, and they allow Nova just to, without actually deserving it, because Nova did not deserve it, just come in and take the victory.
You're absolutely right there, Isaac, because it was working. Wynn's position was perfect. You saw the ultimate hitting multiple targets in a line, and they were winning those team fight. That's why I said they have to calm down. I mean, not just towards the late game, you have Un going in, doing odd, interesting moves. You also have Cook, who saw one team fight. When everyone was retreating, he went in 1 versus 5. Almost traded. I mean, like, I was just shocked. I was like, yo, is there communicated? Is not communicated? What happened there?
There is no reason for any of this to be happening. You have already such a big advantage. You're 2-0 down. You need to calm down and really just start taking whatever that you can and then just push for the high ground. There is no reason why they needed to rush for that. Look, they come in the 1920 and then it's going to be Shadow Overlord for them. They just needed to wait for the Tempest Dragon and then just seal the deal. And they were unable to do that. Again, it's very easy for us just to be talking about this as we already just saw this. It's very easy for us just from the comfort of our couch to be saying all of this, but it needs to be said. And I know that everyone at home is having the exact same questions as we have.
Man, I feel bad for OG. They can't really play what they want to play right now, especially Keke. Like, Shuan is just on another level. First of all, in the early stages, they shut it down, the entire gameplay that Nova wants, especially CY. He was 0-3, but again, Nova outwitted them. It seems like Nova wants this more.
What I like about this game 3 is that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. You already started seeing OG on that comeback, and I like that. I like the fact that in Game 3, the attitude was different. The personality came back out again. It was the OG that we're actually used to. But we need to seal the deal. Personality is not going to put you in top 4. Wins is going to put you in top 4. And what a best way than just giving away 3 and then taking 4. Can that happen, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, if Nova can do it, OG can do it, all right? I still believe my boys to take this further, take us to Game 7. But hey, if we end on a 4-0 series, that just showed how much Nova have improved. Remember, it's $130,000 to $200,000 difference, okay? You just have to win one game.
That's huge. That's huge. Well, for me, I don't believe that. For me, it is going to be 4-0. It's Nova. It ain't Nova till it's Nova.
Let's wait and see what is going to happen. We can already have the bans and the picks coming in. Let's take the BP and send it to Holler and Kindofu.
That's right. I love it. It's not over till it's Nova, and it's looking like a potential 4-0. We are at series point here, ladies and gentlemen, for Nova Esports.
Yeah, OG Esports, they need like 4 rabbits out of their hat right now. They just need to pull out any sort of miracle play. I mean, they need to start with just this game, start with baby steps, get themselves back in. Because right now, if you're looking at even the players, they look a little shaken up.
This is not a miracle. This is going to be a fairy tale ending for OG Esports fans because they have to, like you said, 4 in a row. And it's not just any team, it is Nova. So, OG Esports, they're going to start with their best foot forward. The pay comes out. Tigress, ready to land some blows.
Yeah, DAO is like, let me work. Let me get on my heroes. And they're going to prioritize it as quickly as possible. I mean, this pay will set the tone. DAO, again, if we saw what happened in Game 3, they had a great early start. They weren't able to close it out because, again, Nova just too strong in the end. But picking up the pay here, this is looking like a good sign thus far for OG, right?
Okay, so if you're inexperienced in Honor of Kings, you just joined. One of the power strengths on the side of Pei is the fact that he's able to deal burst. And with the composition that Nova have gotten for themselves at this point, it's looking like a Dolia-Dun combination, which is going to be very hard to play against as a Pei. But OG Esports, I like this combination. If you haven't tried this, Guan Yu and Yixing together, this is another domination duo. You know, you can swap the Guan Yu for the Dharma as well, but essentially the Guan Yu is going to gather everyone into the box or chessboard of Yixing, and then you just have a field time.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of control. I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing for both of these lineups. We just kind of helping support the DAO Pei really do that damage with all of the control and CC that you provide. It's going to really come back to, you know, again, how does Keke and Wen really just help support DAO in the end?
But it's a double-edged sword. It goes back and forth. Because if you take a look at the strength of a Dun and Dolia combination, the Unruly Blade, that's the name of the ultimate for Dun, he is actually going to be able to maneuver in and out of situations with relative ease, which means number one, it's hard for the Guan Yu to catch you. It's also hard for Yixing to get in a perfect board because you're all over the place. And with that confusion, who's going to benefit? It's going to be Muji. D-Ren's golden token, minus 25% on your physical and magical defense. You are going to be taken down.
Yeah, but I just kind of feel like Dune has largely not been the same Dune of old, right? He was definitely one of the top meta junglers. The tank style was definitely there. But it seems like things have kind of evolved. I mean, yes, he's been nerfed a little bit, and that's kind of affected his play. But teams have been good to just kind of deal with him.
You know what? I think you will see the reason, and you will see why this Dune is good.
Well, of course, because it's run by, of course, CY, right? Yeah, so, I mean, a little different. I just think that throughout the KWC, we haven't really seen him really strive. It's a good hero overall, but you really need the rest of the team to help support, have the damage in mind, because he's not the greatest damage dealer. He's like a tanky boy with his stuns.
That's true, and this is why Sun Tzu has picked up as well, right? Because there's an immense amount of control. At the same time, your rotational speed is pretty fast because of your set sail. That's your ultimate for Sun Tzu. You also have a knockup on your first skill. First or second, either one of these, I'm not sure, I forgot. But at this point, OG Esports want to play with mobility. Lianpo and Aaron. Now, Aaron, you guys that are not new, they are new to Honor of Kings. Aaron is a farm laner. They can play magic damage or physical damage as well. Now, depending on what they're comfortable with on the side of OG Esports, they want to exploit this strength because Aaron is one of the most mobile farm laners, able to land massive amounts of damage starting from the mid to late game as well.
Yeah, and this is going to actually be the first Aaron pick that we've seen in the KWC thus far. Yes, we've seen it in the KPL, but the first time on this grand stage. But is this the hero that you really want as your final pick, as your carry? Everything on the line, this is the hero you want.
I understand the concept of it, right? If she gets to her power spike levels, yes, Erin's very hard to deal with. She can actually get out of a lot of sticky situations, namely Dun diving on her, Sun Tzu diving on her, no problem. But this final pick, the Kong Ming, is a Wendy special. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wendy, Wendy is one of the best mid laners in the entire KWC. And if you want to, fact check me, take a look at this guy's performance. Not just this series so far, but just across the board. Nova, this to me is a very strong lineup. But OG can turn this around as long as they have a early goal lead, because then the Lianpo will be tanky. From Wendy. So it's all about the goal. Can they find those advantages?
I think they can. I mean, when you have Dao Dao with that pay, he's definitely going to set the tone, right? And he's going to be aggressive. He's going to push things out. Just providing the space for the rest of the team to get farm. Obviously, if they fall behind early, I think that they just crumble because it's a very early game setup lineup.
So what you will see here is that KOKPLUS is going to try and help out in the mid lane, right? Get that fast clear, allow the pay to jump into the jungle on the side of Nova, which you can see Nova is fully prepared for. They're matching and mirroring the moves.
Yeah, they know. They know it was about to happen on this one, but it looks like game 4, everything on the line. OG Esports, if they lose this, they are out of the KWC.
And this is not the way you want to exit a tournament. Likewise, on the side of Nova, in fact, it's the complete opposite, right? What a way to enter into the semi-finals with a 4-0 win against your opponent, regardless of who it is.
Let's hold our horses a bit. Let's give a little OG a little bit more credit. I mean, yes, things have not looked great. They bounced back in Game 3. Things were looking on the up and up, but Nova Esports just finding almost every little thread, every sort of luck to get themselves back in and to win that one and to pull away that victory.
Of course, and this is where OG needs to play a little bit cleaner, right? It has been the slightest of differences in just maybe 1 or 2 decisions between OG and Nova, and this is how close the series is. Yes, it's 3-0 for Nova, but the games have been quite close, at least for the last one.
Okay, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you had to be like, hey, someone from OG needs to step up, who is it in this game?
It has to be Muchen, right? Once again, he's the disruptor.
We'll see. Okay, it looks like they've got 4 members. The Burst Ram, they're fighting Muchen. They're doing a decent amount. He flashes away. KOKPLUS looking for that revenge with that Soaring Green Dragon, but now Nova on the run. Xuan taking a lot of damage in that sense. He's a little on the lower end, but OG not able to find the kills.
Both teams wanted to push the advantage, right? So both teams are also very lucky that, look, the mid laners are not 4 yet, and this one really was a confidence test for both sides, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to burn out your common spell?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to, just to avoid a first blood. I mean, Muchen was aggressive. He had a decent amount of stuns to kind of to slow down the assault of Nova Esports. It could have been worse, so to speak.
Thank you for answering that, because this puts Nova in a great position, right? Muchen is now flashless for the next few seconds, and we are approaching the time where Nova members will hit number 4. Level 4, Wendy's 4. Winning strategy, this could be a big turnaround.
Yeah, that just sounds weird. The dude is flashless. But I get you. It is a huge common spell. I mean, it is a bit early in that sense. And I mean, it's not the end of the world. He just needs to be a little bit more careful. He does have Burst Ram if he wants to get to safety. He should be fine in that regard. But let's focus a little bit on this Kongmin mid pick by Wendy here.
Yes.
Obviously, it's got a lot of burst. It really adds to that value. I was talking about how Dune was not the greatest damage dealer, but he kind of like helps out in that department of the damage dealing.
Yes, and Muchi, he doesn't know that Wen and Ana here, and he might regret. Oh, he knows.
Oh, he knows. They're taking liberties, and just, I mean, at some point you got to go back to your lane. You got to make that assault. But Muchi, like the spider senses were tingling.
Yes, and I want to point you at CY's itemization. So clear to know that, hey, Wen is going to be doing a lot of damage. So he prioritizes that Long Night Guardian half item first.
Oh, the unruly blade, CY. Looks like they want to go for On. They're looking for that first blood. Wind Slash on top of them, and it like gets the snipe out. Wendy gets first blood.
The beauty of this is that they funnel it into Wendy. Nobody touched the Aaron. On was not.
Set sail. They actually looking for more, though. Tremor Smash away, keeping Muchen alive, but they've been pushed back. Now it looks like the assault from KOKPLUS looking for that flank. Xuano's a little on the lower end, needs to be careful, but here comes CY like a superhero. Misses the Wind Slash, though, and Nova Esports scare them away, but I think that's going to be the end of this fight.
CY literally saved the day. He's at level 7, so he is an immense threat to not just one, but the rest of the team, with the exception of Dao Dao here. And with this reset, now both junglers will be looking to take their buffs instead. The Tyrant is not the prior right now.
Yeah. And CY actually a little bit behind in terms of the level lead with Dao Dao taking advantage. Again, that early game spike is actually key for them. But now Muchen, providing that vision, sees that the Tyrant is being started here. He has flash though. He has flash. He's looking to go for this one. He gets on top, but Dao with that take. CY still up in front, looking to go for Wen, who's looking to just run away. He's going to go immune at least for now, but he gets picked up. Wendy finds him out. Nova Esports getting the kills, and now CY. He's going to be assaulted on this one, but Juan not going to be able to kind of keep him alive. Oh, he will. He stays alive here.
Look, this is why Nova is so strong, right? They always play the advantage. They are now outnumbering the side of OG. They know when to put pressure, and even if you have, look, you have the flash of Muchen, you know that he wants to go in for the aggressive take, but because of all that funneling into Wendy, he is a force to be reckoned with. So very little options for OG to explore. It might not look like much, but Nova, very smart on all fronts.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about Wendy getting all that farm, and he has a 1.2k advantage over Wen in that mid lane, is the fact that he's going to able to burst down Dao. Very squishy. Glass cannon type, yes, it does a ton of damage on this pay, but if you're taking like a winning strategy to the face, you're not going to have a great time.
Yeah, but and look at that, right? With the lifesteal available on Wendy's accusation, he's also able to tank the ultimates coming out from An, and that is not a good sign. OG now once again put in the same box, same problem that Nova has questioned them for 4 games in a row.
Yeah, and 1k net worth lead by Nova just overall. They've been kind of exerting dominance in that sense, but it comes back to that map control, how they play across the map and finding that farm, because look at how he's just kind of sticking around. They're not able to farm at this point. They're all just kind of grouped together.
Yes, and Nova, you know, threatening to fight, and that's the thing, they're threatening and they get to choose.
Yeah, this is the best part, right? Just like not really even taking the fight, but they have to respect you. But Dao taking the bottom T1, that's going to be a huge win for them. They need to get back in, get those towers.
Yeah, so it's one apiece, but with that trade on the top.
Oh, Wendy in a bad spot. He's going to be gone on here. Kuka looking to go for back to safety, but Dao is going to be caught out. Here's the Tremor Smash looking to go in. Nice little knock-up. They get onto Wendy, and the push back, the heroic charge onto CY, living up to the name, but Nova Esports not able to get a return kill.
So once again, OG, they recover, they get the shutdown onto Wendy. This is a monumental moment, right? This is potentially an opening to recover and find a pathway back into this best of 7 series.
Yeah, and you were complimenting Wendy. You were like, oh, look at this guy. He's like money bags or whatever. And of course, OG heard that, and they're like, we're going to focus him and kill him, right?
Of course, right? You need to find the appropriate target. I mean, target prior is very important at the highest level gameplay. And look, we are on
Nova win gameนี้บัดเด่นแค่ว่ามินแต่โนวาชนะให้โปรเลยหัว
They're looking to go for this one. They flash away, keeping Wen alive. That board is going to be set, but he is solo, cannot fight, and they want another target. They find Dao, and Nova with the pick off. They're continuing on. They take the mid T1 as well.
With no minions, and once again, they play the same card. Numbers advantage. 5v1. OG, you want to fight? We'll fight. 5v1.
I mean, but Dao was like, why are you kind of being that aggressive and like I mean, yeah, you were near the tower, but with 5 members of Nova, you got to give them a little bit more respect, right?
No, but this is where all your accumulated efforts bear fruit, right? Look, you are now leading the series 3-0. OG feels the pressure. They need to win this game. They have to find an opening.
They need to find an opening, but at the same time, you need to ensure that you're staying alive. You're doing a calculated risk type of play more than anything else, and staying alive is going to be key. Because Dao, again, it's more farm going the way of Nova, slowing this pay down even more.
Well, the risk is going to be increasing now with a 1,000.
Top lane, set sail, finds the connection. Kuka, he's trying to dash away, but he's going to get sniped out. Wendy with yet another kill.
Yeah, very happy trading for the side of Nova. They don't really care about the T2. They're going to just melt the jungle down because their own jungle is empty. There is no recovery for Dao. And Nova, they see the opening. They want to put pressure here.
They're going to put pressure on this top T2. Muchi's doing some serious work. An is going to be there. He's going to try to deal with the minions, slow this game down, but Dao trying to sneak a Tyrant. It's a consolation prize if there's any at this point.
Both the Azure Golems are in the hands of Nova. One in CY, which he needs, the other in Wendy. There is going to be a lot of cooldown reduction for this guy.
Yeah, look at this one. It looks like the potential assault from Muchen, just dealing with the minions. Again, slowing it down, slowing the pace. But here's the set sail. He's looking around. He's wrapping around the parking lot. He's going to look to go for this one. Goes over the wall, doesn't connect.
Yeah, scary situation. Nova, they're very ready to fight at this point. They have all the common spells.
and this is going to be the Crimson. This is going to be the next big play here. He's going to be knocked up back with that taking liberties. The unruly blade, the blood rage on top of him. He is not scared. He wants to go. He trades his life away. He's going to trade for Gwen. And now they're on a full-out retreat. OG back in their base. The winning strategy is going to be connected onto Dao, but does not kill.
The only safety net for the side of OG now is the fact that there is only one wave of minions marching down in the mid. This T2 will be under pressure. They should be able to take it before any defense comes through.
Yeah, nothing really OG could do, especially after that last assault. They had to retreat, regroup, heal back up to get back in this one, but they couldn't protect that mid T2. And again, Nova Esports in control of this game.
Yes, and you know, the saying is honor and power is never given, it is taken. And Nova have taken full control of this game.
Okay, what is that quote from? Actually, I don't even know. One of the books I've read. Okay, all right. I'm surprised you read a book. But okay, here we can think of the knockup of the set sail right onto Kuko. There, he's trying to go for this one, but he's dashing away. He does get away. He has that speed. He is going to be fine, but this is an opening for the Titan yet again for Nova Esports here.
But what a play! They can't do anything. So they not only they force a fight, OG are not in fighting shape. They have to give up the Tyrant, and once again, Nova reestablishes control. And there is no more opening. OG cannot take the Overlord.
Can't take anything at this point. I mean, Nova Esports, great movement, right? Just understanding that the Overlord was going to be the next thing. Yes, they have the Primal Bond on them, but they don't care. Nova Esports are so far up right now that they're willing to risk it here.
And funnily, I know Dao is at the top of the code chart, but you know what? Nova's answer? Numbers. You can be the top of the farm, but it's just you alone.
Yeah, you alone at this point. There's nothing really that OG can do. They're pretty much just watching at this point. I mean, if anything, maybe you look to push the bottom lane, create a little bit more space, but at this point, at some point, you need to be overly aggressive split pushing.
I mean, if I'm on the side of OG, the opening now has to come from Wen and Kuko. This combination needs to work. Assisting with
They
need the flank, which is why Xuan's positioning this game so clean.
They can't win it all, you know.
It's like a spy cam.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of scary. I don't think they actually have CCTV. I mean, he does see them across playing, but yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. His game sense is unreal, right? Understanding where he needs to be. I mean, yes, he's kind of in the back right now, but he's off the map. And so OG know that if they're ever able to just kind of, you know, initiate, Juan might be coming in with that boat at a moment's notice and could just like shake up everything in that team fight.
Yes, and very smart decision. Nova put the Overlord on the bottom. They have a buff in that lane as well. And because they have the advantage, they are willing to fight at this lane.
Yeah, and they're going to take this bottom T2. Nova Esports just complete control. The map control has been on point. With these Vanguards, OG really don't have any space to breathe. Yeah, perfect foundations, perfect form from Nova. They're looking for that opening. They're looking for the opening here, but with that Vanguard, they're putting a little bit of pressure. Here's the boat. It goes over the wall, connecting on a 3. They want to go for this one, and they find him. The flash away. Wen trying to stay alive, but they've taken the bottom T3. They haven't gotten a kill thus far, but they've been throttled back. They're in their fountain, and they need to heal up, but Nova Esports taking the mid T3. They make move to the top.
Big wins all across the map. Right now, as long as they don't die, it's fine. Nova take another big win. It's not about getting the kills, it's wrecking the base. And OG have no answers.
Yeah, I mean, Xuan was down for the count. That was like the biggest thing, but his boat was on points. That winning strategy onto Kuko, he's going to be taking that one. But again, they've taken everything what they want, which is the mid and the bottom T3. And yes, they traded away Xuan's life, but that is a trade he will take any day of the week.
So Nova, once again, this is not a lesson. This is a curriculum, a course that OG cannot pass.
Yeah, cannot pass at this point. It's not looking good at this stage. Nova Esports, they're so close. One team fight away from making it into the top 4.
Probably so. CY now already has the Blood Rage. He was tough to kill before. He's practically impossible to kill at this point. And this provides so much room because Muji, Wendy, they're all having the time of their lives. And that pick, we didn't talk about this in the early parts of the game, but Waypit, the double Wendy refresh on that winning strategy seems to be the answer that OG just cannot solve.
It's just too much burst. I mean, OG, like, you can't really survive that, and that's kind of why, you know, the rest of OG aren't able to take a really good team fight, and they go the winning strategy right onto Muchen, who's trying to just get back to safety. He does stay alive, but they've been pushed away. Here's the secondary one. Ana's going to have to go golden for that. But Juan gets the catch, gets the boat, finds Dao Dao. But now here comes Kuka looking for the save. Pushes him away, but it looks like he's going to be going in. He's going to use the Razor Cavalry to push them back. But now Kuka on the run. He's going to be chased. Nova Esports are like, actually, we're just going to take this top D3.
Yep, he wants to buy time, but there is no time. OG now a barren base. The players have the heal. Kuka is so low. And right now, 5-man strong across Nova. Here to lay the law.
I mean, on down for about 30 seconds. That's an eternity at the stage. Here are the minions. Nova Esports putting pressure on that crystal. They're looking to focus this down. What can they do? The Tremor Smash is on up, but Muchen is just trying to stay alive more than anything else. And now with the crystal, Nova Esports will make it into the top 4.
Nova đã buôn sâu nè. Holy.
Nova Esports fans, what more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for, indeed? I mean, this is the team. I mean, they were the S3 champions, MKL champions, and now they've made it to the top 4. This was the global team that everyone had their eyes on.
Right now, across the global stage, right? If there's any team that has a chance to put up a strong performance against the giants that are coming from KPL, that dream is gonna come from Team Nova Esports.
I mean, look, they look ready, they look poised, they look well coordinated. This is a team that's really finding their stride. They've been very difficult to beat. Any team has been able to try to find a single win. I think they've lost 1 game thus far in the Group Kings to OG, but that is pretty much it.
Yep. Almost a clean record with no blemishes, right? Coming into this, they have not lost a single series. Now, the lesson that is OG passed with full ace, 100 marks on the side of Nova Esports. They're looking to put this level of performance in the next stage of the game for KWC.
Disband.
Yeah, I mean, more than just pass at this point. That was like an A+. Like,
I don't think they disband, but yeah.
Right? That was exactly what you wanted to have done.
Not S?
I mean, we're going to go with an A+, just the traditional grading system, but that was a great game. Let us go to Mara, who's going to interview the player here.
Here we are with Xuan. Still undefeated. What is the key to your winning mentality, and how do you guys stay composed? Because in Game 3, we kind of got scared there with a 5K gold deficit, but you're still winning all throughout, staying composed. What is the secret?
ខ្ញុំគ្រប់គ្រង Team Nova តែខ្ញុំមិនគ្រប់គ្រង player ខ្ញុំគ្រប់គ្រង manager Let's go
落后嘛，那什么原因然后可以让你稳住你的心性，然后 So we will calm down ourselves, and then we will not brand each other. We will believe in our teammate, and we will find the opportunity, find a chance to come back.
And I hope you keep believing in your teammates, because you've done amazing, and we're gonna see you in the next round. Once again, congratulations. And now we're gonna be talking about that a little bit more. So we're gonna head back to our panel. Lead the Gorge.
Thank you very much, Mara. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to Nova Esports on a masterclass on how to play fast-paced best-of-7s. They came in, they took 4 games, they took 4 dubs, they sent OG Esports back home, and they just sealed the ticket to the top 4 of our KWC 2025. Impressions of that last game?
Again, guys, 2 words. It's Nova. Right after game number 2, I think it was definitely over. Team Nova, they tilted OG.
Look at the key.
There you go.
That is the moment that people don't like seeing. Man. The moment where the dreams of OG Esports are being crushed, the same as that key right over there.
The dream gone. Key gone. Path to victory gone in one moment.
It's OG's Nova nightmare. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. And that's the deal. Yeah.
OG Esports, they were really happy when they picked Nova. And I imagine that they were not expecting this result. They were expecting a completely different story, but the story today was a horror story for them.
It's a horror show, really. You're absolutely right, because I think that the point of the game is they were too nervous for OG on stage. And it never got to the point where they were to reverse. Even when they're 8,000 gold ahead in Game 3, somehow they threw it all away. So this is not the end, though, for OG. In fact, this is just the beginning. You saw the announcement video. We all watched the announcement video. There's more tournaments than ever before. So this is a good opportunity for them to step it up.
You know what I think, Dave? I think this is my theory. I think that OG Esports came into Game 1 very confident. They really thought that they had this. They came with a clear strategy. And that first game is just the same as in boxing. You come into the ring, and then the first hit that you receive, it just completely makes your knees just go weak. And then your legs are not the same for the whole fight. And I feel like OG Esports was unable to recover from that.
Yeah, I think in a best of 7 setup, like game 1, you need to like kind of warm up. But for game number 2, it's very important because that's kind of like the statement game that Nova wants to give OG. It is Nova outwitting them.
នេះដូចធ្លាប់ស៊ីលេង Mobile Legends right
even picking up the I
អំ
think
ស៊ីមួយណាបើ host មកពី Mobile តែបើថា MC បើថា MC ដែល MC នៅ panel នេះប៉ែមួយដែលប៉ែមួយពាក់អាវក្រហមនេះខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឃើញតែខ្ញុំមិនដឹងធ្លាប់ឃើញនៅណាតែខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឃើញតែខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាឃើញនៅក្នុងអំបិលឬឃើញមកនៅណានៅណី
really leveled up into this gameplay. They're showing that they're ready for KPL level competition.
And look at that 100% on the team fight rate for Wendy on this Kongming. At around the middle stages of the game, he was like 50% he's dealing almost all of the damage of their team.
A lot of people thought that it was going to be a Dolia Dun kind of composition, but it was actually a Dolia Kongming composition. Kongming just like on that unending ultimate, that was too much for OG.
Now, we gotta talk about Kongming as a character. If you have not played it, this is one of the most OG characters in Honor of Kings.
Yeah, true.
It's so popular all across the world, and it's so fun and so easy to use. If you're still trying to find a character to pick up in Honor of Kings, this is it. Because people people thought of Kongming is just assassin. You have to get up close to get the passive. But actually, once you're farmed, you can poke so good. And I have to highlight the player who played this character, Wendy. Even last game when he was on Yuhuan and when the team was behind, somehow Wendy was ahead on gold. He is probably the richest mid lane in the entire KWC so far.
I would love to go and check on that data because the truth is that Wendy, today's 4 performances have been top level, and I would love to go and compare them to the group stage, right? Because Wendy, I cannot remember right now like one game where Wendy was like, oh yeah, he played badly. No, every single game, the lowest is just like, okay, that was an average normal presentation. But every single game, he's just coming and just kind of like raising the bar right over there.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that we've been talking about the Kongming pick. It was not the hero back in S3, even in our region like PKL. It was not really picked, but right now here in EWC, KWC, it's probably the flavor, a special flavor in the mid lane. But I think it's still a risky pick. But
of course,
with Nova managing to really pull it off, it goes to show that they're really on the next level. They are targeting the unlockable characters. They want to get to TT Global.
I think people find a way how to best maximize the output of Komin, right? You have to do it in the front line, soaking insane amount of damage, and a Komin in the back line, finding the opportunity to poke, and most importantly, the ultimate is an execute. Because a lot of times in this game, it's really hard to execute a kill. You can get somebody low, but how do you finish it off? And Komin is literally the definition of execution. If you can get someone low, he can clean the entire team.
And what happens when he gets the kill on that ultimate?
It refreshes.
Yeah, it refreshes, 3 seconds cooldown. But if it doesn't get the kill, you have the Dahlia reset also.
And
so
that's the thing, and that's the composition that we did not know up until that last minute that Komin came out. And that was what OG Esports just couldn't resolve. They were expecting the Dolian to end, but it was a Dolian and Komin, and it was just ultimate after ultimate after ultimate. And since they didn't have the gold advantage, they did not have the items to really create that magical shield that they needed in order to survive.
For sure, for sure. I do feel that for this game, especially game number 4, OG is not up against Nova anymore. They're up against themselves. It's really hard to reset right after that game number 3. It's unlike the Group Kings stage that they had, I think the game 2 comeback. Almost the same situation where we go to 20 minutes, but right now it's a big no-no. It's just Nova putting the nail on the coffin.
That was it.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do, right?
But then again, I would love to give props to OG. Getting here is not an easy feat to do. Of
course. For sure.
Right? They lost the West qualifiers, but they won the East. So still huge props to Dao Dao. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan when they visited the Philippines. But yeah, GG's to OG.
I am really looking forward to hear what Coco has to say about this whole game. I know that Eruption had an opportunity to talk to him, so what about if we check on that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here backstage with one other Kuka of OG Esports, and I know it's a tough loss, but my question for you right now is, I know it's hard to explain and comprehend the things that are going through your mind, but what is the hardest thing going against a team like Nova Esports? I know that we've played them in the past, and it's always the same result. What is the hardest thing that is going against a team like Nova Esports?
Che quello che ti ha chiesto è praticamente quello più difficile di giocare contro Nova Team. Quello è questa cosa più difficile di fare contro di loro. Lui sa che a questo momento sulla testa tua ci stanno tanti pensieri, però vuoi sapere almeno una cosa che tu dici, questo sempre è difficile da farlo contro di loro.
Per me noi manca la pazienza e un po' di coraggio contro di loro.
Posto?
Forse serve un po' di tempo per allenare.
Okay. He says that the most difficult thing to achieve is the patience to win the matches, and maybe some skills, but he also thinks that the patience is the most difficult thing to achieve.
No, definitely, because patience wins everything, right? And also comes with timing. My last question is, what is your game plan, or now coming offered a defeat, but for the next tournaments, what is the blueprint there, or how are we going to bounce back from this?
L'ultima domanda che ti ha chiesto è cosa ti piacerebbe da fare o come raggiungerebbe per il prossimo campionato, il prossimo tournament, per essere al livello di loro, cosa volete cambiare? C'è un'altra cosa che voi dovete fare per stare al livello di loro? Una cosa da cambiare?
Qualcosa da cambiare?
Sì, sul team, su di te.
No, per me non dobbiamo cambiare nessuno, solo che noi dobbiamo diventare più forti, dobbiamo allenare. Siamo noi che è il problema.
Okay. He told me that they don't want to change anything. They are good as a team. they feel strong, but they want to be stronger. So they have to like practice and be
train more
confident
and be more confident.
Yeah.
And just what he said, be more patient.
Be more patient. Yes.
Kaka, thank you very much for your time, and I just want to say that keep your head up high. At this stage, you guys have made the playoffs, even though it wasn't the result that you guys wanted. But keep your head up high as pros. You guys will get there one day. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kaka. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Grazie.
Grazie. Grazie. Back to you guys.
Grazie. Thank you very much, Kaka, on an amazing interview. Thank you very much. It was just very, very direct. What do you need to do? Just become more patient. That's it. Understand that in this moment, you might have the mechanics. You might have the understanding of the game, but the decisions need to be better. And that comes with patience. You just need to practice, work really hard, and understand that in some moments you just need to breathe.
At the end of the day, it's again, it's black and white, right? For esports, you win some, you lose some. But props, of course, to OG for taking that interview. It's really hard to do that interview with such a devastating loss. 0-4, you didn't really get to perform, really didn't get to play, right? So still, OG, I salute you guys. But for Team Nova, it seems like they're hungry too.
I gotta say, though,
hungry to get this.
Yeah, even though OG lost this series, but Coco has captured the hearts of tens of thousands of viewers.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
Make sure to follow OG and follow this team's journey in the next tournament because they're hungry for more. Like we're saying today, the key is to calm down. And they're going to work on that, I think, going to the next tournament because this team got the skills, they got the mechanics, they got the micros, they got the looks. It's all about bringing it out, right?
I think that we will not stop hearing from Coco. For sure, we're not going to stop hearing from him. But from whom we've been hearing the whole day has been from our Sony Series MVP, Xuan. Xuan, from Nova Esports, Xuan is going to be our Sony Series MVP.
He really did out everything, Keke, in the entire series. Not even in this series, but also in the previous match that they had in the Kings group. Shuhan just pulled off a lot of key moments here, especially in game number 3 on that Guan Yu pick. There you go. That's it.
Yep.
He
definitely gave the opportunity to Nova to do the comeback that they want.
You got to remember that Guan Yu in that moment was really behind in gold. Yes. And he was still able just to come in clutch moment.
And also, this player is so versatile. He can play so many different characters. And because he understands all the heroes in such a deep level, he's able to know how to counter them. So in the 3rd game, I believe, when he played Sun Ce, or the 4th game, he had a stun, I think the 4th game.
Correct. Yes.
And he was able to counter the Guan Yu from Kuka, right? When Kuka find everybody low, he's about to come in, he popped the stun at the right moment to cancel, and then did it again with another CC. This guy is so goated, and I think I'm looking forward to their performance in the next step.
Yeah.
Right now, Nova Esports already sealing the deal and coming in as top 4 of our KWC 2025. They're going to be waiting for tomorrow's result. They're going to be fighting against the winner between TT Global and Team Vitality.
Yeah. Again, I've been talking about TT Global. Actually, I'm not undermining Team Vitality, but let's face it, Teal, we need the real talk. Come on, we need to be real, right? So for tomorrow, for sure, TT Global, maybe 95%. Because this is a secret character, right? We're now going to the secret stages of the tournament. Right? TT Global versus Team Vitality and AG and versus Alpha.
I'm telling you, TT Global against Team Vitality, it's going to be tomorrow's first game. TT Global against Team Vitality. And then right after that, the second game is going to bring us AGAL against Alpha 7 Esports.
I mentioned at the beginning of the day, these two teams are the gold standard of competitive Honor of Kings.
Of course, yeah.
And they understand how to play the game so well every step along the way. Not just a draft. Tomorrow is really, you want to mark on the calendar, get all your friends ready, entire community, do watch parties, whatnot. This is it. This is a time to learn.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a time for other teams to breathe and really think about how they go to next step against these top teams.
I do feel that Team Vitality and Team Alpha 7, they're aware of this. They know what they're getting at. They know what's gonna happen for tomorrow.
Yes.
And I do feel that they just need to have fun and play their hearts out. Play it like, you know, if you know what I mean, like maybe nothing to lose, nothing to win. So there's no pressure on them.
I love that mentality.
Because they will definitely go up against the big boss, or in games, the final boss. There's a reason why these two teams are already in the playoffs.
Of course.
Come on, man.
I think that we need to understand that as long as they do not feel the pressure, there is no pressure. That's it. Just don't feel the pressure in that. Just come in, enjoy the game, take it as what it is, a top 8 performance. If they are here, it's not because they were given that for free. They are here because they deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us today. This has been our quarterfinals, day 1. We've already have 2 teams already in the top 4, and we're really looking forward to know which other 2 teams are going to be here tomorrow. We'll see you at the same time with the same energy. But before we leave, what about if you stay with us and look at the Qiddiya top plays of the day? Have a good night.